let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Filling up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, ooh, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Well, this is the start of Black History Month. And of course, we're going to start with somebody who just so happened to be born on this day. Welcome to Saturday Night Vibes. Welcome to Saturday Night Vibe, the aggressive news show with Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon Clyburn, along with Tracy Carson and Anna Hart, who's having some technical difficulties, but she'll be back. Wait a minute. I can't hear you guys. Well, can you hear me, Tracy?
I can hear you fine.
All right. Well, Anna will be back, so we'll wait till her. So, as I said before, this is the beginning of Black History Month. Each show will have Black history that is not taught in the school system. Today, yesterday, whatever, tomorrow. And it just so happened that today is the birthday of one Rosa Parks. And there is a part of her history where I wanted to throw the question out to everybody because there was a part of her history that was removed. But for the life of me, well, I have my thought why, but I'm not always right. So I have no problem throwing it out to the mafia and asking, am I on the right track for thinking this way or not? But there is a very little known fact about Rosa Parks that I didn't learn at school. Now, Parker's on the show, Thea's is watching or something like that. Of course, they would know because they're big heads who know every doggone thing about everything. But me personally, when I grew up, it was never taught. So, as always, we are all about that free support. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And after the live show, please leave a comment. It will boost the show in the YouTube algorithm, and that's payment near and dear to all of us. Happy Black History Month. And Black History is history. And as always, subscribe. On your shirt, is that a handheld mic or a handheld?
Mickey, it's a mic. You know that's a mic.
You know daggone well that's a mic. Hello, Mickey, by the way. If you know daggone well that was a mic, Mickey. Mickey don't ever change. Tracy, how are you tonight?
It's Black History Month, my second favorite month of the year. Great. I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Hey, Anna, can you hear us now?
I finally can hear you. I had to turn my Bluetooth just completely off. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm going to be moving a little slow because my mouse is like, yeah, I know you want to move, but I'm not going to move. So if I give an introduction or something, but it don't automatically come up, that's why. So how's everything going, Anna?
It's going. I've had a tough week. I've been sick. I've been also doing a lot still, but glad it's the weekend.
Hey,
Hello,
Susan.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a heads up, but I'll let everybody know in advance tomorrow. I don't know if there's gonna be a show tomorrow.
Okay.
Nothing bad is actually good. It's just I know I can't fit two things in at the same time. It seems that the whole family is about to come over here tomorrow to visit my daughter. So, you know, I don't want everybody up here, you know, everybody downstairs and enjoying themselves, and I'm up here, yeah, the KKK can kiss my ass, and you know, I don't think that would go very well with the family.
They'd be happy. They'd be like, "Yup, that's what we think."
All right, without further ado, let's get this party started. Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks, and I'm assuming Macaulay is correct, was born on this day in 1913. Now, I'm not going to treat you people the same way everybody wants to. I talked to Foxy about this the other day. Have you noticed that every time they do a Superman movie or a Batman movie, they always got to go back to how they became, yeah, their origin story of every, like, who does not know these origin stories? So I'm not going to do this to y'all and go, so Rosa Parks was, and then the bus. And if you don't know who Rosa Parks is, it's on the equivalent of going, so Martin Luther King did what again?
Who's Martin King?
It's up there, folks. Rosa Parks. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that, but I'm going to show you a short video. I was writing it down, and I just happened to come across a video that displayed the reason why I wanted to do Rosa Parks. And again, I'm going to ask the question of why this part of the history was removed from her story. Because it just doesn't make sense to, well, it doesn't make sense to me, but I do have a theory.
At 19, she settled in Montgomery and married Raymond Parks, a barber who shared her growing fury at racial injustice. He was involved with the local chapter of the NAACP, a role many avoided for fear of persecution. At first, Raymond was eager to keep Rosa safe from the potential dangers of activism. But as she grew more incensed at the limitations imposed on African Americans, she could no longer stand by. When she officially joined the NAACP in 1943, Parks and Johnny Rebecca Carr were the only women in the Montgomery chapter. She began keeping minutes for their meetings and soon found herself elected secretary of the chapter, formally beginning her secret double life. By day, Rosa worked as a seamstress to support her mother and husband. By night, she researched and documented numerous civil rights cases, from local policy disputes to high-profile murder cases and hate crimes. As secretary, she prepared public responses on behalf of the Montgomery chapter, battling the harsh sentencing, false accusation, and smear campaigns frequently used against African Americans. In addition to her legal work, Parks was a brilliant local strategist. As advisor to the NAACP Youth Group Council, she helped young people navigate segregated systems, including voter registration and whites-only libraries. Through the cover of the NAACP, Parks strived to bring clandestine civil rights activities into the open. She advocated for civil disobedience training and spoke out against racial violence, particularly the murder of Emmett Till.
Okay, now here is, I'm going to tell you what I was taught, and then I'm going to give you my theory why this part of the history was removed. I ain't know none of that stuff. The way I was taught was this was an ordinary woman who got on the bus. A white man said move. She didn't, got arrested, and boom, we had the civil rights movement in Montgomery, Alabama. There was no mention that she already was a member of the NAACP charter in Alabama, in Montgomery, Alabama. There was no mention of that. There was no mention that she was the secretary of the Montgomery, Alabama charter of the NAACP. None of that. It was literally me.
I didn't even learn that she had gone to college.
No, I do none of this stuff. All I do was, the way they taught me was an ordinary woman who was really, really tired. And by the way, there is a statement. I'm going to see if I can find it. Because the statement was she was really, really tired. That's not why she moved. Yeah. She was not physically tired. She said she was tired of giving in to segregation. So it wasn't even the physically tired thing. But when I was brought up, that was the story. She was what in the world did this dude say he ain't coming?
Oh,
no, wait a minute. Hold on.
He wasn't coming.
Didn't he say, somebody's got a birthday and I got to be there?
Yeah, man. My pockets wasn't in line with my heart, so I already made some apologies.
Hey, it happens, bro.
All the
It
time.
I was in the bed about to roll over and go to sleep with my little sad, depressed self until you keep me higher. Okay, let me go ahead.
Keep your spirits up. But anyway,
sorry to throw y'all off, folks. Go on with y'all saying.
You'll catch on real quick. So anyway, Anna is shaking her head. Tracy is shaking her head. This was something
I knew this. I knew all of this. I knew the whole her sitting.
Okay, so Tracy, did you learn this in school?
Oh no, I didn't learn it in school.
That's what I'm saying. In school.
Oh no, they said her feet were tired. She was tired and she had worked a long day and blah blah blah. It was like when I was in actually I take that back. I did learn it in high school. Like they told the real story in high school. But
I learned it when I was grown.
No, I was not grown.
I did not learn this in school.
They didn't tell you the whole thing was planned. No. They didn't tell you they coordinated.
No, it was Tracy. It was literally the tired black woman who got on the bus that was so too tired to move. The white man got on the bus and told her to move. She said no. The bus driver stopped the bus and told her to move. She said no. He said, if you don't move, I'm going to call the cops. She said no. The cops came on there to arrest her. And that's what sparked the civil rights movement in Montgomery, Alabama.
And it had been going on for years before she even stepped foot on that bus.
Yeah. The thing, say this and then let it pass on, but can't count on your opponent to tell you the score. You know what I'm saying? So if we know that America doesn't lie sometimes, America lies all the time, credit to Stokely Carmichael, then we should never be surprised. That's why, on a slightly related topic, if you have children in your life, whether it be your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, best friend's kid, you have to supplement their learning. You have to give them more points of view, because Black History Month, I can tell you what's being taught right now across the country. What you just said about Rosa Parks, about Martin Luther King being nonviolent, and you might get a little Booker T. Washington thrown in there. No, I'm sorry, not Booker T. They won't give you that one. They'll give you George Washington Carver with the peanuts.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what you're gonna get. So if you want to teach, if you want your children to know more, it's on us to give it to them. And we have become so Negropean that we do not see or know. We actually take our pain and allow it to be our shame. And I'm like, the things that we've been through weren't our fault. So the shame isn't ours. So we have to let people know, and what you're doing today is a tremendous credit, Marlon, because people don't know. They have no clue.
It was my duty. And I'll say that off the bat, that I'm not gonna come on here and give you, sorry to keep using this word, but it is. I'm not coming on here to give you the whitewashed version of Black History Month. I can't do it. I can't give you that history anymore because, yeah, Thea's is absolutely correct. My question has always been, why was that part of her history erased? And I have
because you don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm question. Let me just give you my theory because I may be right or wrong on it. I may literally be right or wrong on it. I think that history was erased because they figure two things. Either they didn't want the little Black kids to know that she was fighting for this right for an extended period of time before this happened. Giving them like, oh, so she was fighting for this way before this all happened. No, I'm going to stop it right there. I honestly don't have a clue why they will remove
it's the whitewashing of. It's not convenient. It's not convenient for people to know that Rosa Parks had been doing this years before she even stepped on that bus. Look what they do to Martin Luther King. They give us this sanitized weakling of a man. They don't talk about how he spoke out against the war and how he spoke out against other things. They just give us his I have a dream speech, which they totally take out of context. And that's what they did to Rosa Parks. They didn't talk about, you know, like the video said, how she worked as a seamstress in the daytime and she was in charge of the youth movement in the NAACP, and how she plotted and she planned that protest. It just wasn't a pop-up, hey, I'm going to just sit on the bus and tell people I'm tired. No, she was tired of being told she had to sit at the back of the bus. And I wish, although it'll never happen, if you're going to teach no, because it's not their responsibility. It's our responsibility.
Exactly.
We have to tell our own story because what's being told is not right.
And a couple things go into that. Thank you, Tracy. I'm 100% with you. You know, we have allowed ourselves to be so desperate to be accepted that we are afraid of putting our stories out there, because the villain in our story is also the ones who have power even to this day. So we have been behind, and you've heard me say it plenty of times, we are behind enemy lines. So why would your oppressor, why would your adversary, why would your enemy intentionally teach you about the organizing side, about the grassroots portions, about the fact that this goes all the way back to when we first were brought here in chains? That why would you teach the people you need to hold down that type of thing? Because what happens is, so long as we can get you to just look at this person and you can say, this person did something amazing. This person was so brave. We give you 5 names, and these are 5 names out of thousands of your people. So that lets you know that most of you need to know you're not special. You're not that person. So now what you have done is you focus the lens on the few that you can't quite seem to hide. Now, they hide a lot of our history, a whole lot of it. And then if you go digging for the history, they've manipulated it to the point you still can't get to the real information. But we can take these few who rose to such prominence that we can't hide them, and we'll just remaster their story. And see, you lack power. We lack power to push directly against that level of propaganda. So whatever we're pushing back, saying, no, that's not the whole story. No, that's not accurate. It will get missed because no one's listening to us. So you get this situation where Martin Luther King was hated by this country to the point that the FBI infiltrated the civil rights movement in his organization. The FBI got involved with the whole March on Washington they talk about, and how the president and Congress and the FBI all got together and said, this is when you can come, this is when you can go, this is what you can say. We talk about John Lewis, great man, but what do we reduce him to? A man who got hit in the head on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. But no, this was the youngest member of the was it SNCC or it was SNCC, and he comes out and he had a speech that would have set the whole world upside down, but he was pulled aside by the white powers that be, our allies, and they said that is a little bit too much. We need you to tone that down, and so he did. So what is like? No, they're not gonna tell you the whole truth. They're not. There's some individuals who will, because I want to make sure I'm very clear on this. My problem is with the culture. My problem is with Eurocentric thought. Whether it comes out of a white mouth or a black mouth, it is still Eurocentric thought that I oppose. It is not white people. Right? Because white people is just too general. Sometimes we use it in lazy speech, but really it comes down to the individual when I don't like you. But as far as a collective, yes, I do have a problem because it is the collective that works in such a way as to go down in Florida and say, we can't teach you Black history. To go out and say that, hey, no, Black history is American history, but take no efforts to actually teach you Black history. That will say, okay, well, we'll talk about Black people, but we'll pretend Latinos don't exist. And we'll pretend that this group over here doesn't exist. I have a problem with that, whether it comes out of a black mouth or a white mouth, right? So to Marlon, what you were saying is like, why we didn't know these things? Because it wasn't their story to tell. They want you to think one woman was brave and fed up, and then everybody, now we know Black folk, okay? Been Black my whole life. One person deciding they ain't gonna go sit in the back of the bus is not gonna turn an entire city to the point where they not gonna ride the bus.
Right. Somebody was arrested. Let me see, because it was also said
in January of 55.
It was done. It was a coordinated thing.
It was many.
She was one part of the whole.
Yeah,
she
Claudette Colvin was arrested 9 months before Rosa Parks for the exact same reason. For the exact same reason.
But when it came to Rosa, they couldn't make hers go away. See, that's one thing I really want people, no matter what your objective is. Now, I'm most passionate about the Black community, but whatever you're passionate about, folks, if you have a righteous energy behind what you were trying to do, understand that the stuff you do may not be noticed, but it does not mean that it's worthless. So each of those people before Rosa Parks were pushing, they were building the momentum.
That was a
and then Rosa was the last straw. The organization work behind the scenes that she herself was instrumental in got it to the point where the community could then come together. This is another story about how they mess with the Black church, which is why the Black church is a shadow of itself now. But they saw that we organized through the churches. And so when this last straw happened, now the organization right? The NAACP in its heyday, the SCLC, SNCC, all of these core, they all were happening at the same time. And now the bus boycott could happen. I'm sorry?
I've never heard of SNCC.
So SNCC is a Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. And what that organization is, almost everything that was happening in the 50s, well, actually, any big movement is usually done by the youth because they have the passion.
Was that the Woolworth sit-in? Is that when it started?
They did do sit-ins, right? So there was different levels to the quote-unquote civil rights movement. Basically, our story here in America is one big movement, in my view. So the movement is eternal because the movement is about human rights, human dignity, and the ability to self-actualize. That's what I see the movement as. So every generation has a role to play. Right now, we are the ones who are here now. So we each have a role to play, and we're playing it. Whether we're playing it as a minor character or as a star character, we're all playing our role in the movement. So the youth, SNCC, came up out of the university and college systems. Okay, they were also very much intertwined in the Black church, but SNCC itself was primarily the students.
Okay.
And they did that, and then another part of them, not really a part of them, but another aspect of them was core. So SNCC was like almost all Black, and core was multiracial. Like when you hear about the Schwarmer, the Jewish allies who were murdered. Okay, that was core. All right. Okay. So all these things were happening at the same time. But going to the bus boycott piece, this is where the beauty of a Rosa Parks and a Martin Luther King come in. Rosa Parks is, in my view, for that Montgomery story, a bigger hero than Martin Luther King. Because see, Rosa Parks was an organizer. She got involved. She saw a need. She got involved. She started helping pull people together and had a full organization running. She was running within the NAACP as a leader, as a prominent voice, right? And there were so many like her. Martin Luther King is a unique person and a unique talent who is able to mobilize. So he comes in, draws the attention in, but underneath it was still the NAACP and the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee that were really doing the organizing piece. But I shall relent.
You know what's funny is I'm going to cut the show right now. I know I usually say the first half. It ain't even the first half hour. So I'm going to cut this show. And the reason I'm doing this, and I'm telling you because it's not going to be on the replay. The reason that this is going to stand alone is because I'm very serious about this being Black History Month, of knowing history that nobody else knows. And I want this video to stand by itself. I don't want it to be mixed up in the real or not and I'm out the a-hole and everything else, because this is a serious thing that needs to get out more. And maybe we'll be a foundation for somebody else behind us. Maybe we'll push somebody, maybe we'll push another group, we'll push another group, and so on and so forth. I don't know, quite frankly. Well, I do kind of care because I like to have more than 71 subscribers. But still, that's me being selfish. But I want this video to stand by itself. I want this knowledge to be by itself. Brother Theus does his I have a dream thing and he gets on a roll, but not one person has ever came on and commented and said, he's wrong. No, he's not. Absolutely not. Everything he said was absolutely correct. You may not like it, but you can't say it was a lie. It's the same. It's the equivalent of anybody that comes on and say this is wrong. It's the equivalent of saying we should teach CRT, because the only question I'm going to ask is where was he wrong?
And if I am wrong, help me out. Yeah. I try not to speak on stuff I have no clue about, but even then, it's not like I'm free of error. and the story is so much bigger than anything that I could possibly try to say.
It is. So I'm going to end the first half hour right here. I want this video to stand alone. So, and by the way, everything that I just said from this point is not going to be on the replay. I'm just saying it so everybody who's watching live will understand where I'm coming from. So we are going to roll into the second hour with AITAH, Real or Nah, and of course, Foxy's videos of the week. So stay tuned. 3 minutes to reboot and refresh, and we'll see you all on the other side.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally.
We are back for the second hour, but before we get started, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please support Tracy and all of her endeavors at patreon.com/a better Tracy Media Plays. Please do not forget to support Thiz and all his endeavors, patreon.com/complex mind. Please do not forget to support all our endeavors at patreon.com/radical truth to power, exactly the way it's spelled, capital R, capital T, capital T, capital P. Please do not forget to support Anna by going to her website, pirelli-etc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you'd like to drop me a comment or any suggestions, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's radtp@outlook.com. Boy, good old. Now next week I'll be Tracy at Pirelli, etc. What? All right. So without further ado, let me see. Yeah, let's do this one. Cause yeah. My boyfriend wants me to sell my flat.
For several years, I was a stripper. I have no shame about what I did and only quit when I got a better job offer. In the time that I worked as a stripper, I intentionally lived as cheaply as possible. A sucky little studio flat, living off ramen, wearing old clothes. Because my coworkers all told me they were able to buy their own places on their income as long as they saved like crazy. Before I retired, I managed to outright buy myself a 3-bedroom flat. I rented out the other 2 rooms for a while, but I got sick of having roommates. So now I have them up online for shorter stays, but not to rent. I met this guy about 18 months ago and we've been together since. He knows about my employment history and he said that he has no issue with it. Though he did ask me to tell his family the white lie that I occasionally use, which is that I was a waitress. Which I kinda was, to be frank. A month ago, we found out that I'm 2 months pregnant. He says this is great news and that we should move in together. I assumed that he'd be moving into my place because he rents his, a far smaller 1-bedroom flat, while I own mine, and I have room for a baby's room while he doesn't. Also, I really don't want to leave my flat. It's my flat, and I love it. I could see myself living here for the rest of my life, and I don't want to lose the security of owning a flat and have to go back to paying rent or a mortgage each month. However, he then said that he didn't want to move into my place and said that I should sell it and we should buy a place together. I said that I like my place. It means a lot to me that I was able to buy it, and it represents years of working my butt off, scrimping and saving. He then said that he understands all of that, but we should be living together by the time the baby comes, and he didn't want to live in my flat. I asked him why not. It's a great flat. It's central to everything. It's spacious. It's got room for all of his stuff. There's a daycare in the building, run and owned by another tenant, and the school is just a 5-minute walk away. The list goes on. And he said that he didn't want to live in a flat that was bought with stripper money. That really pissed me off, and I told him no effing way am I selling my flat when he never had an issue with my stripper money paying for the flat before now. I said I wasn't giving up the security of owning a home for someone who tries to make me feel ashamed about something that I don't feel ashamed of. He said that his point is that if I sold the flat, then we could get a new place with the money from the sale. I said, wouldn't that be stripper money? And he said, that's different. And I asked how. He then said he was going back to his place because I can't talk to you when you're in this state. He went back to his flat and he texted me saying that I'm overreacting and being irrational and I need to think of this realistically rather than emotionally. He says he wouldn't feel right raising a child in my flat knowing how I purchased it, and selling and moving is the best idea for all of us. Not to mention the fact that he isn't on the deed because it's my place and it would never feel like our place because of this. I feel like I might be the butthole because I get why he might feel like it's just my place. And I feel like I'm being too rigid in a time that we need to work together. Plus, I spoke to my sister and she sided with him, so 2 out of 3 people think that I'm in the wrong here. Am I the butthole?
No.
Let me go first. Absolutely not. Girl, drop this fool. Is he crazy? Is he crazy? Is he crazy? I didn't mean to jump in, but this one right here, not that I'm a stripper, because who would want to actually strip? But as a person that's going to be owning a home soon, there is no way if I get married, I'm selling my house. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you say it. If you don't like it, you know what you can do? You can bounce. Sir, shut your mouth, stripper money. You wasn't saying that stripper money when you slept with her. You wasn't saying that stripper money when she probably paid for something for you. Sir, or in this case, little boy, you need to grow the bleep up. Shut up, grow up, and be quiet. Nobody wants to hear your little sexist views. And as far as the family siding with him, they crap too. Who asked them? She asked them, but she's not the butthole. Not the butthole. But is this real or not? Is this real or not? Or is
No,
this
it's just
one?
a story that I
Oh,
want.
okay. Yeah. No, girl, run. Don't you? I know you got a baby with this one. Give him some child support visitation rights, and that's it. Don't you sell that place. Don't you sell that place. And I'm done.
Anna?
Echoing everything what Tracy said, and the stupid image that we somehow look down upon sex workers. Let's just stop.
Is Theo's asleep or did he just die
I
on us?
think he's froze.
Oh
Oh,
no.
I'm
he
right
was
here.
asleep.
Oh.
Boy, you look like you froze. I'm like, you was just like,
Oh, he's listening.
Okay.
Anyway.
he
No, I'm
must have
listening.
bored. Oh,
You know, you're not accustomed to me not running my mouth. I get it. I understand.
I got it. Go ahead, Anna. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not used to Thea's not talking, so sorry.
sell her house. Go.
really, that is an unrealistic ask. And this whole, well, it doesn't feel like our place. No, you're uncomfortable. And realistically, without the baby, how long would this have lasted?
Couple months, maybe a year.
Maybe some longer. Maybe there was something there that we don't know about. There's always that. But this guy is so insecure. So
And you know what this is about?
insecure.
He wants his name on that deed so he can have that place. That's what it is. That's what it is. He wants his name on that deed. Girl, don't you put his name on that deed. Don't you do it. No.
This is for your child. Property, it means a lot.
It
Don't
sure
give up
does.
that place.
All right,
I'm
Thea.
done.
I mean, it's pretty simple to me. The dude he's got control issues, and he doesn't really. It's not what he's saying. It's not his real thing, or a piece of it is anyway. It's a lot of projection built in here. So he doesn't want to live in her place. Now, here's what I'm going to give him some points in his favor. He doesn't want to live in her place because she's made it clear that this is her place, but it's going to be theirs together. That is a very difficult situation for any couple to try to function in, because that means even though we're together, there's still that piece out there that I could become homeless tomorrow and there's nothing I can do about it. And especially for a lot of men, that is not a position that we are willing to put ourselves into. Exception being for a lot of the homosexuals who just kind of follow around and move in with whatever woman they happen to attach themselves to. That's a little different.
I'm about to say something, but yeah, okay.
You know, but so that's the one thing I would say to give him some credence. But the problem with him is he's just not right for her. And the reason why I say that is because you can't sit here and tell me that you don't want to live somewhere because it was bought with stripper money, but you're willing to have a baby with someone that used to be a stripper. So how is it that her her body is redeemable, but her work history is not? That doesn't line up. That's not even a true complaint that he's making. He's using that complaint just to try to get under her skin and make her question herself. His real issue is that he doesn't like the idea that he is not in control of how, or he doesn't have an active voice in where and how they come to live together. Now, I do take a different route from what Tracy was saying, because Tracy she comes across very absolutist when it comes to how she would deal with a man in a relationship. But for me, I would say, yes, here's where I agree with Tracy. Get on, girl. Get on. This is just the beginning, right? He's going to try to control any and everything you do. He's going to start questioning how you dress. He's going to start questioning where you're going. You're going to say you're going to go spend time with your sister, and he's going to say you're using that as an excuse to go see a man. He's going to do any and everything to get in your head to the point where you don't go anywhere but to work and home. That's what he's going to do to you. The path is already laid out. I'm 100% with Tracy on there. I'm just saying that how we go into these relationships does matter, because you got to give your other part some room. You gotta work with folks. It can't just be your way. So if he was not an asshole, because I can't seem to get that part out. If he wasn't an asshole, because the whole stripper thing that he's using as a cudgel on her head, that's just not love. That's not love. It's just not. So let's say that part wasn't in the equation, then maybe you need to have a different discussion, which would be, I bought this home with my own money. This is the biggest thing that I ever accomplished for myself up until this point. I went without. I scrimped and I saved intentionally so that I would be able to put my name on something and say, I did that. And you can't make me sell it. I won't let you make me sell it. So then the next part of the conversation, if it was a healthy relationship, which to me seems like the smartest play anyway, well, we want to start somewhere fresh, because you often hear this with women moving when they connect with a man. They don't want to be in the bed that the man had when he was single, because all the extracurricular activities he may have been having. Or if his ex-wife lived in the house, you don't want to be in the house. That kind of stuff that you hear about. Yeah. Same thing, fair play. So why haven't you looked at, and this is to the dude, not the lady, why didn't you present this more along the lines of, we'll stay here, we'll save up to get another place. We'll then be able to rent your place out as an investment property so that you always have money that's coming into you. And then that way the family always has some savings that's happening for us while we continue to build even more. That's a responsible conversation in my view.
That I can take.
Yeah.
But to say, sell your stuff, give me the money, and then let us go spend it, that's crazy.
And bringing none to the table, trifling behind it.
And there's so many times when women come to the table
doing the same crap.
This opposite.
Yep.
And
sell the house. You sell the house. No.
Yeah. We could all be adjusting this a little bit more.
Nah, it don't
adultish.
Yeah, because that's where I've heard it plenty of times where the woman is like, I'm not living there because of your ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like their spirit is still in the bed. But it's still, I do think in a healthy relationship,
which
there's some things you just got to flex on. This is not. This is not.
She needs to run. She needs to run and don't see what the end is going to be. Don't you see what the end is going to be? No, he ain't worth it.
And don't let the baby, I understand. I'm sorry, Mom, I'll shut up here. I'm real big on family and about being in connection with your kids. It's like major to me. My kids are literally the only thing on the planet that means more than my own life. So there are things that I will do just to be with them that, defies common logic, right? But this baby ain't even here yet. So this is your time, him and her. This is y'all's time to get out now.
Yeah.
And then that way the baby only has one reality that's growing up with, is not having to split its reality and come up with a new way of being. Sorry, Marlon. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. I literally had one thing to say. Only one thing to say, and then we can move on. I finally got y'all.
I'm so sick of this.
We hate you. We really hate you.
UK. And the title of the post is, I have 2 audio recordings of my ex admitting to tampering with birth control. Is this any use? Alright, so on to the update. First off, I dumped him. He initially said that he doesn't want to be a parent if we're not a couple, but earlier this week, he told me he wants majority custody. So not only does he not have to pay child support, but if he gets majority, then I end up paying him. He actually said that that was his reasoning. He also runs his own startup and admitted the startup is basically done for. And he was hoping that when I sold my place, I could also put a cash injection into his business with the money. So basically this was all about money for him. There's going to be a legal case, but I've gotten legal advice and it looks like I'll be able to get sole custody, which is what I intend to go for. In the last couple of weeks, my sister has doubled down and is trying to get me to fix things with my ex because A baby should have a complete family. So I have not been involving her in my pregnancy, which she is furious about. She also told our parents, which I am furious about, so we're not speaking right now. I also want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my first post. When I first posted, between my boyfriend and my sister, I was genuinely convinced that I was in the wrong. So to have such an overwhelmingly supportive response really helped me realize that I shouldn't doubt myself so much. And with that realization, plus everything going on right now, I decided to go to therapy, which I'll be starting next week. All in all, the outcome of this is that I'm probably going to be a single mother in the flat that I own, and honestly, a pretty decent outcome.
Wait a
Well, for one
minute,
thing, she
Lion
kind of said she
Mafia.
wanted to be a
Is
single
there
mom anyway. But
what?
yeah.
Lion Mafia. Is there more?
Well, that's it.
Is there more?
I didn't. First of all, I didn't lie about this, did I?
You lied about the last one, so I'm gonna keep calling you Lion Mafia.
How was this a lie?
Lion Mafia. I got you.
I did get you. Here's the deal.
Playing with our emotions aside.
No, because I'm sitting here waiting. I'm like, okay, now I'm waiting. I'm like, okay.
That's why I kept my mouth shut. Here's the deal.
And you sure this is the last clip?
Positive. No, I'll tell you the truth.
You sure about that, Lion Mafia?
I'm positive I'm done with this. This was a money play. I'm glad that she was smart enough to see this as a money play. I'm also curious if there's some. I don't know, because I don't know the law, because it sounds like she's in the UK. So their laws may be different from our laws.
Yeah.
That I would kind of look at you kind of strange is there's no criminal action that can be taken against somebody who you have a recording of messing with their birth control to purposely get her pregnant. Because, and this is what I'm, now with that said, this is what I want to put on old boy.
How do you mess with the woman's birth control?
I honestly don't know.
I can see if it was the other way around, that would make more sense. But I'm like, well, how?
But we don't know what type of birth control. So it could have been his birth control that they agreed was being used.
Oh, like they said, you wear a condom, and then he poked her. Oh, okay, got it. Because I'm like, how do you mess with her birth control?
Or as I call it, rape, but other people call it, was it sneaking or ghosting or whatever that thing is?
I don't know
where
it's not
while you're having sex, they take the condom off.
This is unconsensual.
It's unconsensual.
Yeah. But as far as is there a law? Probably not one that she would be able to take advantage of, because on one, she's got to be willing to press charges. That's one. Two, as a woman trying to prove any level of rape, any level, good luck. So, yeah, I don't know. There might be laws on the books, but good luck being able to use them.
Boy, I called this one.
You did, because this is the thing I say about the old boy.
Broke mofo. He needs to sit his trifling behind down somewhere. Sat down.
Why would you think somebody who, and like I said, we're taking it from her side of the story. She's telling the whole story. Why would you think somebody who would scrape and scrounge and live like a hobo without actually being a hobo, just so she could save enough money to buy her own property, simply thinks that she's going to sell that same property because she knows you?
And
women and men do dumb things for
Thank
love.
you, sure do. Sure do.
They dumb too did. You used the word.
I don't think that's fair. They're not dumb.
He wanted her to be dumb, but thank goodness she was smart enough to realize, hey, this cretin is a piece of poop.
I'm glad she kept on questioning it.
Yeah, because you got to think about, this is about personalities and psychology. This isn't about, logic. So if you take somebody, and that's why I tell people, be careful who you spend time with, because you can fall in love with anybody you spend time with. So if you have somebody who has the type of personality that, it doesn't mean he doesn't love her. It doesn't mean that he doesn't care about her. It means that he cares about him and his business more than her.
A failing business.
Right. But as an entrepreneur, even when your business is failing, your heart's in it. So you think you just one break away,
but
and
all
then you'll
four
go and
ones.
you'll use up all your money, and then you'll use up all your credit, and then you'll use up your friend's credit, and then
But you don't, as an entrepreneur, I ain't never thought, you know what, let me sleep with some man, get pregnant, and then he'll infuse cash in my business. No, that's not how you fund a business, yo.
Well,
That's not
there are
how
a lot
you
of
fund a
people who do it.
business.
that's a little
A
unfair
lot of people do it.
because everybody
Women use sex to get what they
I'm
want all the
talking
time.
about me.
I understand, but everybody's missing the part where she did say that they've known each other for dating for 18 months.
You
So
still
it ain't
don't
like
know a
she
person
just
out after
met
no
the
18
dude.
months.
It's not like she just met them and all this situation occurred.
But this
So
Right. I
nigga
mean,
thought get her pregnant on purpose. Not that she would use the money to take care of the baby, but would infuse money in his failing business. Oh, that's logic.
because there
That's
are some
logic right
people,
there.
and I'm on this when I say this. His emotions and logic, totally two different things. Emotionally, yeah, dude, you stupid. Logically, though, he's probably thinking, because if I could just get this business off the ground and make it profitable, I'll be able to take care of this family for the rest of their lives. Now, does
and I'll
that
be
make
able to give her
sense
something
emotionally?
even better than this flat.
Yeah. Now, is that logical? Yeah.
He's a
Is
manipulating
that
piece of garbage.
I'm not taking away from that. That's not one of the things. I'm just saying. It's yeah.
Now that we know what we know, can we give opinions about should there be anything but supervised visits for this father?
He don't even deserve that. A trifling
Well, see,
behind.
now I'm
he's
sorry. I guess I'm going to
I don't
disagree.
even think it's gonna
He
be
can
supervised
FaceTime that
visit.
child. He don't gotta be around her. He's
I
like,
don't
your
think it's
mother
gonna
Is that
left
what? Is
me.
that what?
Your
Wait, wait,
mother.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Let's pause for a second. Let's pause for just a second. Take a beat. Okay. What did he do to the child?
Nothing.
what I mean.
No,
Well,
he
Has
technically
he
did.
posed to? Wait, wait, wait. No, no. What has he done to the child? And what
created them
physical threat
under
has
He
false
under
means.
the false pretenses? Right now, she has to decide how she's going to address that.
supervised visits. I'm with Anna.
I mean, maybe that. I don't know. All I'm saying is this is where we're getting to areas where I'm not so cut and dry on
Yeah,
because
I don't know yet.
she made that mention. But if that's the situation, then hopefully she'll take it and pursue some level of course, or at least have it factored into the divorce or whatever the situation was. They're not married,
Trial.
right?
They
No.
not married.
Um, but that whole thing with the custody of the child, then make sure you have that conversation, and you got to prove that. So you can't just come out here and say that he's this and he's that. Prove that to the court, and then let's move forward. I'm just not with taking away a father or a mother's rights out of hand until you've made your case, right? Because at the end of this story is going to be a child, and this child will have a hole in their heart. And if the only thing you can tell them is, I ain't want you to be around your dad because he's a jerk and an asshole, you are now going to be dealing with a child who is going to be very conflicted.
Yeah.
Now, that may be the right answer. That might be the right end result of where we end up. I'm not saying that's not the case because he sounds like a complete asshole. But is he an asshole or is he a danger? Because the assholes can grow up and become a good person, even though they weren't so good back here.
Mm-hmm.
Dangerous people, you got to keep them apart.
Because you got to look.
That's the only
You
reason I was saying.
You got to look at it this way, Tracy. We all agree that he's an asshole, but we have to break it down just one step further. He was an asshole to her.
That's true.
That doesn't mean he's going to be an asshole to the kid.
But here's my point. He also, if I heard that video right, wanted sole custody of the child.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he just as bad as the mother? Want sole custody?
So and that's an excellent point. But and I'm not privy to every conversation Anyway, but no one really seems to have a problem when it's the woman's side that is in this kind of a scenario, right? When a father says, I want full custody of my child, now it's like, wait a minute.
No,
But when a
there's some
mother
terrible
says,
mothers
I
out
want
here.
full custody, there are, but societal level, that is not how it gets played out.
That
the
is
second
not.
guessing is instant if the father says that, because if the father says that, it's automatically assumed that he's being vindictive. But when the mother does it, oftentimes it's assumed she's being protective. Even though I'm pretty sure we've all come across mothers who have used their children as weapons against the other person, because the person who has physical custody has the most power. But in this case, though, like I said, it's a little different with this dude, because if it's true that he manipulated the birth control, everything else becomes a moot point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you create
because he's no better than a rapist at that point.
To me,
right?
To me, yeah.
It's like I can't see it's hard for me to see the difference.
But I don't recall when we heard about this with the woman trying to poke the holes in the stuff with the husband and all that stuff. Remember that one? Remember that one?
We did pretty much.
When did we?
We pretty much said the same thing.
Did we say? Wait. Did we say that he should get full custody of the child?
Yes.
Yeah, we all said yes. Because
play the video back.
You wrote me
that he should have full custody of the baby.
Yes, we told him he needs to leave and take the kids with him. Yes, we did. Dude, you need to you need to get away from this nut job. Yes.
Poking holes in the condom. Girl, bye.
Are you out of your mind and then bragging about it on the phone? Yeah, but
I know none of us supported. None of us supported it. I just don't recall it being a situation where we were like, well, he should just abscond with. He should go to court and get full custody of the baby because she got pregnant in false pretenses.
As a matter of fact, I think one of the things was he wanted to do that. He just didn't know if he could.
You got to name the date because I'm pretty sure I would say do two for custody. Because ain't no way.
You go find the tape because, dude, I do like 50,000.
Listen, I could be wrong. I just don't recall that part sticking out to me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it that way. But then again, I mean, like I said, once again, I've done 50,000 of these videos, so these could be right on the buddy. And we all said, yeah, leave the kids with the crazy barber with the scissors and the condoms.
Yep,
so I don't know.
I don't think the conversation really quite went that way.
I don't think it was that. But
who knows with us? We might
right, Tracy. With us, who knows? Who knows? Am I the a-hole? The real version. Tracy, number one, that joke is going to get real old.
It's not old, though. It's still funny.
Okay, to you.
Anna laughed.
Because I cannot believe you are still doing
See? My point exactly. So here's the
classics
deal.
are forever.
I'm sorry, I gotta be truthful.
I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and I got a little twist at the end of my answer, like I usually do in a way, but this is my little twist on it.
So this isn't real or not? Or was the first one real or not?
The first one was just a
We're
story.
still in. I thought it was all the Am I the Asshole?
We so far ahead. You
this is an AI. Am I the Asshole? I think.
Say again.
This one you're gonna do. Am I the Asshole? Right.
This is the Am I the A-hole?
Oh, okay.
I didn't even say nothing that time.
So I have a little twist on my answer to this. So here we go.
So my wife and I have been married for a year and began trying to conceive in September. She's 26 and I'm 28. No luck so far, but the doctors did say at our first appointment that it typically takes close to a year for most couples to conceive. She's been telling people that she's infertile, which isn't true. The doctor said that she isn't. My wife and I went to my work Christmas party in mid-December, where my wife met my coworker's wife, Mary. They took a liking to each other. Mary was pregnant, and she invited my wife to her baby shower, which was yesterday. My wife sounded excited to go. I asked her when we were alone if she thinks that she'll be fine. I know my wife, and I know what typically bothers her. I knew that she wouldn't bask in happiness over someone else's pregnancy, so I urged her to think it through. She said that she's fine and she was excited, so she went. The baby shower was yesterday. About 40 minutes in, she calls me and asks me to come as well. I was at a cafe nearby because I knew that she wouldn't stay long. I found her at the entrance of the house crying and a bunch of women consoling her. When she saw me, she came to me and pulled me to the garden to talk. She said that she was dancing and looked at Mary's pregnant belly and couldn't take it anymore. Then she started crying and ran out. All of Mary's friends followed her out to console her. I consoled her myself and said, "Okay, let's go, babe. Where do you want to go? We can go for a drive so you can feel better." She looked at me weird and asked, why would she leave? I asked, why would you stay? She said that she feels better now and can go have a good time. I sighed and said, "Babe, you know that's not going to happen. And I doubt the attention will be on Mary after this, and that's not great. It's her baby shower, and she deserves to be celebrated. I can't see how people are going to shift their focus from consoling you to celebrating her if you're still there." She rolled her eyes at me and said that she was going back in and that I could leave. 3 hours later, the party was nearing its end, so I go back to pick her up. My coworker and I stepped into the house, and lo and behold, everyone is sitting in a circle with my wife being the center of attention. My coworker looked for his wife, and she wasn't there at all. He called her, and she said that she left ages ago. My wife and I entered the car, and I first asked her how she was feeling, and we spoke about it for a few minutes. I then asked her what happened, and why did Mary leave? She said, "Oh, shoot, Mary, I forgot to say bye to her." I told her that Mary left ages ago. I then said, "I know you're going through a hard time, but why on earth would you and her friends do this? If they consoled you for a few minutes, that's fine, but the entire party? We really should have left earlier." She looked at me so offended and said, "Are you Mary's husband or mine?" We stared at each other for a while and just drove home in silence. I told her I want to talk to her this morning and sort some things out, but she ignored me and left the house.
Hate to say it, that just sounds like living with a woman. Y'all can go ahead, throw stuff at me, whatever. But
I don't have anything to put in my hands, and you're not in Indiana, so.
I'm just saying. Now, part of it, like his whole thing was logical. It's the kind of stuff that I would say, and it's kind of approach that I would take. I would have probably been a little bit more forceful that second round. First round, I'd have played it exactly like he did. "Baby, you sure? Because yeah. But the second round, when I got to come get you, I'm going to be patient, yet it ends with us leaving. But that everybody plays things different. Reason why I said it's kind of like just dealing with a lady in a relationship is because she was gonna do what she was gonna do. She'd already made a decision. She was gonna do what she was gonna do. And then the whole thing with after the fact, he's like, "Well, are you her husband or mine?" I swear I could hear that one come out. I'm just like, oh, that's that bratty, childish play that you do to somebody, where you just want to cut them off at the knees, so there's nothing else they could really come back at you with, because what else could he say? But it wasn't a big enough offense that they would like challenge the relationship. It just piss you off for a day. And then the next day, because she's acting like a child, to avoid the confrontation, she dipped up out the house. Again, not enough to ruin a relationship, just enough to piss you off for another day. And they'd have been fine the next day. Well, a couple days.
I'll let the lady speak.
Anna, you
And
first.
I literally have an answer to your question.
Caveat, yes, I do know some women like that. Not all women.
No.
And I would even say not the majority of women that I know. I mean, to me, okay, it's who has, I don't know what else to say, but right, to the attention here. And if it was your play to subvert a baby shower, you shouldn't have been there at all.
I would have left that
I just don't
attention
think it was her
seeking.
intention.
I do. This
No, I
lady
don't
is
think it was
all
her
about
intention in
herself.
going.
She's a selfish little snot. Her doctor done told her that she's not infertile. Hey, it's just not your time to have a child. Girl, if I had to come get my spouse and then they say, why did you come? I'm leaving and I ain't coming back. You can find you a way home. You can get an Uber, you can get a Lyft, you can get a cab, you can hitchhike. Because I'm not going to come out here no 2 times and pick up your trifling behind. And then she going to go to the, are you her husband or mine? I'd be like the other woman, because you crazy. You sit here with your little selfish. You have problems, lady. You knew this was going to be you was gonna be upset because you saw this pregnant woman. You made it all about you. I don't blame the mother or too soon to be mother for leaving. I'd have left you, and I don't do this, but I would have had some words for you, and they wouldn't have all been holy. You would have got clean cussed out. Period. You made it all about yourself. Console her for a few hours, a few minutes. Okay. You take her aside. But you get the focus back on the soon-to-be mother. It's her day. She's the one that's going to go through the hours of, I don't know how long it takes to have a child because I've never had one.
32 minutes.
I've heard some women say it took them 3 or 4 days. So whatever. But this lady, she got problems. She knew this was going to be a problem. So she didn't stay back. She goes, cries, calls him. Yeah, I'd have left her. And I wouldn't have came back no second to why you here. Because you called? Nah. She got an Uber. She got a Lyft. She could have hitchhiked. All I care. No, you stay there. I'm not coming to get you.
This is your spouse, Tracy.
I don't care.
Tracy,
when the spouse asked her why, she said, why did you come? Because she the one that called. Yeah, I left her right there. But like, okay, I'll leave. But don't expect me to come back. Gas is $3.39 a gallon. It's not cheap. No. Nope.
Cheaper than that divorce lawyer.
I'm not coming back. She up there to my, why you come? Why did you call?
Here's my answer. Here's my answer before everybody gets into it. Here's my answer. Is he the a-hole?
Nope.
Yes,
nope.
He is. What? In my opinion, you are the a-hole.
For not taking her home?
But not for the reason you think. You are the a-hole because you are entitling a self-absorbed woman. And I got the one line that pretty much proved what I said. He told her she would not bask in the happiness because of somebody else's pregnancy.
See,
you know your wife very well, and you knew that your wife was going to go to that party with the pure intention of taking all the happiness out of that party to have her own pity party.
It's kind of like you trying to. He can't stop her from going.
Here's the second reason. Here's the second reason why I said this. How many of us have ever dropped somebody off at a party? Kids, relatives, whatever. How many of us have dropped somebody off at a party and then went somewhere that was close to the party? That was 3 hours later?
Only because you said kids.
Okay.
Yeah, you say kids, you want to be close by so you can
Because if I took you all the way clean across town and it's not like to a family members type party, yeah, I'm in hovering distance. Like,
So let me just change it. An adult then.
I don't
no,
take
I ain't never
adults
did
to
that.
parties. They need to call
Okay.
Uber.
He was at a cafe up the street from the party.
Because he knew what she was going to do.
Because he knew it wasn't going to end well.
What was in the
But
kick
Marlon,
off?
you making it seem like he could stop her from going. He can't.
Oh,
Agreed.
let me answer this question. When she asked, "Are you my husband or are you her husband?" My answer would have been, "I'm your husband."
Sure.
That don't mean you was right. So she was trying to pull that old okadoke of, well, you're my husband. You need to support me on every freaking thing that I'm not that husband. I'm not that husband. I don't know what husband you thought you were married, but I'm not that husband. I love you with all my heart, and you wrong. I will go to the ends of the earth for you, and you're wrong. There is nothing I would do for you other than to admit that this bull crap that you did was right. No, me being married to you does not give you unconditional support on stuff that you did wrong. I'm calling you out on the road, and I'm telling you, and funny thing about it is, I'm literally telling you this out of experience. I have called Foxy on stuff that she did wrong. Foxy has called me on everything I did wrong, and we still married. Your marriage is not a end all free all to do some crappy things to other people and think that, hey, I'm married to you, so I can't say nothing about it. No, I will. I certainly will. In a heartbeat.
I
And
have
I
a
will
hard
hope that
time
you will do
believing
it for
Foxy
me.
has ever done anything wrong.
In this world, never. In my world where I have to stay with her, yeah.
I mean, it's easier for me to believe you did something wrong. I mean, I'm like, okay.
There's a shot. But my point is, she tried to pull that old Okadoke 12th grade logic of,
Seventh grade.
are you married to her or you married to me? I'm married to you and you still wrong. There's not an either or. I hate to tell you that it's not an either or, but it ain't an either or. Now you
See, I go to war with people. I go to war with people with stuff like that. So like with my wife, I can't imagine. Well, it's not her temperament. She would never say something, like that. But it's like
my Foxy would never.
I'm like, so it's like you kind of think back and it's like, wait a minute, this is the kind of thing that really gets right underneath my skin, because for you to say something like that to me is literally you just attacking. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Because what you've just told me is that what occurs in the moment for you outweighs any and everything I've ever done for you.
Yep.
The fact that
yes,
when you were sick, I was there. When you were hurt, I was there. When you were scared, I was there. As we're working through the pregnancy thing, so it's taking us a little bit longer to get pregnant, but I'm there. With the situation with going to the being invited to the baby shower, I thought forward. I considered your feelings and how you were going to possibly react to it, and I shared that with you. I was there. When you called me, even though I knew I was right, I didn't come and say I told you so. I came to get you. So you telling me out of everything I've done for you, in this moment, this is the card you play.
She's a twit.
That's the type. She is a twit, but like, that's what I'm saying. But if that were my lady, that is the type of conversation she would have experienced that next day, which is why she ran away. Because I'm gonna sit there and she knows she was wrong. She knew she was wrong in a moment. I can almost guarantee you that she's emotionally stressed out. And a lot of times, especially people who are not as mature as they need to be, when they're very stressed out, they lash out at the safest place they can.
Yep.
And usually the safest place is your partner. And I would say that, yes, I am here to be that when it's necessary. But understand that when you do that, the next day, because I might give you the day, because I need you to get you through this moment. But the next day, we gonna go to school, and that's one reason why, like,
That's why
I've
she
never
did.
really had this particular issue.
I can't
That's
with
why
that
she ran
woman.
out the house. Because he sounded like he's so logical in the way he told the story. I can almost guarantee that's what would have happened if she had been home the next
Oh,
morning.
we gonna talk about it.
That's the funny thing
We
about
gonna
it,
get
though.
this resolved. I don't keep stuff.
But you know what, Tracy? And the deal is, she will come. I guarantee you. I haven't seen it, but I try to help a lot of people out when it happens because I try to listen to other people's relationship, and this part comes up over and over and over again. And I hate this statement, but they'll come around. Do you know what that statement really means? I'm going to talk to you again, but I'm going to ignore the reason why I stopped talking to you in the hopes that you don't bring it up. My thing, and I've never had to use it, was, okay, eventually you are going to talk to me. But please understand that when we talk again, it's going to be on this subject.
Yep, you might as well just have the conversation.
So do you want to talk about it now? Or you want to talk about it tomorrow? Or you want to talk about it next week? Because what we're not going to do is ignore this issue. So another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, this pops up again because we could not take to have the hard conversation to resolve this in that day or that week or whatever. I don't at this point in my marriage, I don't want to have the same issue more than once. Now, can I say in the early years of our marriage that was a true statement? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We fought over the same dumb crap, and it's dumb crap now. But back then, that was serious stuff we need to talk about. But back then, it was serious. Now we look back at it, it's like that was the stupidest thing that we could have just resolved in like 15 freaking minutes. You need to do this, I'll do this, and we'll be done with it. And as long as you do this, and as long as I do this, everything cool. Nope, we both had hills we're gonna die on.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that mentality. But this lady has problems. She's got problems.
I'm sorry, Tracy. She got problems, but I'm just saying, I don't know. She's got problems. She was 100% wrong whole way through the story. She acted childish whole way through the story. I still am trying to give her the particular benefit of the doubt of saying that going in, okay, she, in her mind, right, thought, I'm strong enough. I can go to this event. Like, she thought she could do this. Her husband, knowing all the stuff they going through, was like, no.
I say she went to that party to bring attention to herself.
Yeah, I'm still on that.
See, I don't think so, because that's a certain level of diabolical thinking that would have also appeared later on in the story. Because she didn't know who was going to be there at that party. They just met at the work thing. So it's not even like it's her circle. So she didn't know what she was going to be walking into. She didn't know if everybody was going to
She knew it was going to be a
oh
baby
no,
show.
She's crying. Let's focus on the crybaby.
She never said it at the end. But do you remember the beginning of the story? And she's going around telling everybody that she's infertile.
She's infertile.
And
I do remember that.
And the doctor said that she's not. So why is she going around telling everybody this story when she's not?
Kidding me.
Because
so poor me. Look at me.
Poor me. Look at me.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm more charitable about this. Because I look at it and say, why would she do that? Okay. I don't remember what their ages were, but I want to say they were like early 30s.
20-something, like that. 20-something and 20-something.
So why would somebody say that? Okay, here's why I think a person will go around and say that they're infertile, even though the doctor says that they're not. Reason they would say that is because they have been trying. And people get pregnant all the time, and it's almost always on mistake or unplanned, right? The hardest pregnancies in the world are the ones you're trying to get. Okay? So in her mind, I don't take it outside the realm of possibility that she starts to protect herself for the worst because she's trying to do this thing. And this thing that she thinks is natural, that is just part of being a human being, part of being a woman. And I am having trouble getting pregnant. Yes, the doctor says that it's not medical. It's just not, it's just the timing hasn't quite been right, or the luck of the dice hasn't rolled my way just yet. But as a human being, you start to prepare yourself for worst outcome. And then she is immature. Because even though I think the emotional high that she's running on makes her more reckless, the fact that she's immature is not something that I can associate to this thing. Like, this is her personality. That's why he kind of knew it, right? So you take that all together, and then yeah, she might start vocalizing, "Oh, woe is me. I know what they say, but I just feel like I'm never gonna get pregnant. I just feel like I'm never gonna get to be a mom." Like, that's a real thing.
I'm surprised she didn't blame him.
Like, I don't know.
I'm surprised she did not blame him for the baby not being born. That's what I was.
They probably got a test. They probably done took a test by now. Otherwise, she would.
No,
because it's easier to blame yourself.
Story, if we're gonna stick to the story of she's self-absorbed, it to her, she can't blame him.
No, yes, she can, because it's never fault. Take responsibility for herself.
Her. Well, no, because self-absorbed people,
it's gotta be her.
It's got to be her. It's me that's stopping all this. It's me. It's woe is me. Yeah. My husband.
Yeah, it's selfish.
The most that she's going to say about the husband is, and listen to the backhanded woe is me part. My husband wants a baby so badly, and I just can't do it.
Like, there's no such thing as adoption. Like, it don't even exist.
Tracy, you come in at it super logical, and I agree with you. But the thing is, yes, that's a real option. There's adoption, there's in vitro, there's all these things that are out there, right? Mm-hmm. But none of that replaces you growing up with this particular vision or dream. And then it's being deferred. And being selfish doesn't mean that you're mean. It doesn't mean that you're vindictive. It just means you're selfish. So she very well could go through this and never once blame him. She'll go through this, and the whole time she's falling inward on herself, just slowly crumbling inwards. Like Marlon was saying, I can't give him what he really, really needs. I can't give him what he really wants. Or the fact, however they're brought up, because I've seen this with women that I've known. You guys will know far better than I, because I'm not a woman. But the way that this society equates your ability to give birth to being a woman is ridiculous. Like, that is somehow a reflection of your success of fulfilling your role of being female. Right? So if she comes from a background, hello church, if she comes from a background that the nuclear family is like, you can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, you can be whatever, but are you a good mother?
Your base level, and of course I'm not talking, this is not coming from me, coming from an American point of view. Your base level as a woman is having a child. Everything else is secondary. Your work, and sometimes, and trust me when I feel this way, it's very few and far between, but sometimes I hear so many stories, it's like, so do you really need to be a good wife? Simply because you already had a kid, so now your fulfillment is complete. It's like,
well, that's a big problem on both sides of the coin.
I'm saying, what?
Yeah, people talk about the divorce rate being at like 50%. I'm a firm believer that the reason why divorce happens so much is because we don't go into the relationship for the relationship. We go into the relationship for the status. Yep. So if you coming in trying to check boxes, right? Do you make X amount of money? Are you able to have 4 kids before you're age 35? Like, you got these checklists running,
Oh, well, wait a
and then you get
minute.
married.
I'm
What?
gonna disagree.
Like,
I gotta kind of sort of disagree because I think I have my own checklist. Sure, it's a long list, but I got a checklist. You
I'm not
know,
saying you shouldn't have standards. I'm saying you shouldn't have
yeah.
a checklist, because one thing you don't know.
yeah.
You don't know.
Standards and a checklist is totally two
I
different
got a
things. Because
checklist.
you can have a checklist of I want somebody who's 6'3",
No, I'm
200,
like
at
good
least over
credit.
200
You
pounds.
treat your parents right. You
That's a
treat people.
checklist. Standards is
But see,
do
that's just
you
it.
work? Do you
And that's my
work?
point. And there's no quick and easy way to this, because there's people who get married when they're 18 years old and they're married. Like, my parents got married when they were 18 and 19, or 18 and 20, whatever their age gap is. And here they are married 49 years, right? Mm-hmm. There's exceptions and all that good stuff. But what I'm saying, though, is how you go in. If you're going into the marriage mostly as a business proposition, or to fill the blank of something you've already developed in your mind, then I can almost guarantee you your marriage will fail, because you're not giving the person the opportunity to evolve the way I promise you want to evolve. So it's this weird thing that we do to each other, where we feel like we are on our personal journey and I'm not quite where I'm going to be, but I'm going to get there. So I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But the other person is like a character in your movie. Like, they're supposedly already done. Why don't you got to have this salary, and you got to act this way, and you got to believe this way, and you got to talk this way, and you got to dress this way. Meanwhile,
You have
I
no
am a
idea
complicated
who
person.
that feeling will start for. You have no
You don't even
If
idea.
know
your
what you
credit
want.
score is not
No
high
one knows what they
enough,
want.
How
goodbye.
many
I
times?
don't want to see you.
And
How many times
good
have we
luck
sat
with that.
here?
That's your process. I'm
How
just
many
saying.
times have
I
we
don't
sat
know.
there and listened to people who always get with somebody and go, "You complete me," and I always look
You
at them
should
and
have been
roll my
complete
eyes and
before. Oh
go,
my goodness.
"I'm sorry." So you need a whole total different
Person.
grown human being to complete you.
That's a person got problems. Because
Well,
I'm already complete.
that's a person. That's a person that has been sucked into the narrative.
Exactly.
Yes.
But that doesn't make them wrong. Like, I've literally stopped talking to people in the past because they said that I complete them, because that tells me that you know yourself to be broken, right? It's not that I'm like, I can't complete you. Okay? That's too much to put on any person. Way too much to put on anybody.
What was
because
the thing?
I'm going to have moments. So what?
What was the thing you used to always tell me, and I've taken it to heart. So even a young Diaz can teach an old Marlon new tricks. My job is to not make you happy.
No, it's not my job to make you happy. It's my job to create an environment you can be happy in. That's my job. Like, every day. Now, granted, everybody's different. So you might not want a person like me, but every day, legit, I am trying to figure out, how do I make her life easier? Legit, intentionally. It's not accidental. It's literally, okay, how would she react to this? How would she react to that? Is this going to make this easier? And then, I've been married for a long time, so there's another factor that goes into it. What's going to keep her from fussing today, right? All of those things, but it's all intentional. And I'm thinking that if you want to be in a relationship with somebody, you each owe that to each other, right? And this is pie in the sky thinking, but if I don't have to worry about me because you are worrying about me, I am able to worry about you, so you don't have to worry about you. But so long as there's that piece going on, which is always apparently the case, where we got past scars from dealing with people, so we're always holding a little something back. Well, the problem there is the piece you're holding back might be the very thing the other person knows you have and you're not giving, and they resent you for it despite all the other stuff you do for them. And so that's the complicated part of doing this thing. But I don't know, people who just kind of feel like I'm already what I am, take me as I am. That's a bad place to be.
I'm moving on because that's one of them trigger doggone statements. Take me as who I am. I ain't gonna change. Okay. Why?
Then you don't want nobody.
Okay, you don't want nobody. Real or nah? I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm gonna go with nah.
I'm gonna go with nah, but prefaces with the same thing that I've done a couple of videos. I hope it's nah because I hope somebody is not this stupid.
And why? Am I the jerk for dropping our dinner on the ground and walking out when my boyfriend asked me, "What's for dinner tonight, B?" I was over at my boyfriend's apartment this weekend and I was cooking dinner because he was studying for exams. I made pasta and chunky sauce with meatballs and veggies. I told him dinner was ready and he goes, "What's for dinner tonight, B?" with a lot of emphasis on the last word. I was fed up. I had a pretty rough day with work and I have some awfully bad associations with that word being used by other people in my life who were pretty terrible. So I was so irritated that I dropped the pot of pasta sauce that I'd been carrying right on the ground and said, "Well, nothing's for dinner tonight now, and I better not hear you use that word again. It's for the girls." He was freaking out about how the sauce landed on his rug and he even said, "You're seriously acting like a bee right now. I don't know what else to call it." I just walked out and got takeout for myself and I went to my friend's house. She thought it was funny, but my boyfriend was furious. He kept texting and calling and sending me voice memos trying to explain that "What's for dinner, B" was a TikTok trend and that he was just quoting something as a joke to put it on TikTok. I thought that was the worst excuse ever. It doesn't matter if he saw it as a joke or stole the joke. It was still disrespectful, but it didn't change the fact that he thought that it was still funny. To demean me while I was trying to do him a favor? Like, hell, I come over when he was studying to make a home-cooked dinner and he decides it's time for jokes? So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb for the night and split a bottle of wine with my friend and her roommate. The next morning, he was sending me angry texts demanding I clean his rug because he was too busy with exams to do it. I was shocked that he left it overnight. That's disgusting. I texted him back saying, "Yeah, so that's the B tax, honey. Leave me alone until you're ready to handle your own cooking and cleaning because this B isn't anymore. Also, it's vile that you left that soaking in all night." He called me and told me that he was okay with doing his own housework, but I did throw a full pot of sauce at the ground, so that's on me to clean up. I told him, "Yeah, no, I'm not comfortable doing chores for you if you see me like I'm your B." He told me he didn't and it was just a trend, and I got pissed off that he was playing that TikTok trend BS excuse again, and I told him, "Well, I'm starting a trend called saucing, where as a little joke, people throw pasta sauce around. You can't be mad because it's just a little trend, a little jokey joke, just a little prank, bro." He got really pissed and hung up on me, and now I'm seriously wondering if this dumb TikTok joke is going to be the end of things between us. To address some of the comments I've gotten a lot, and I don't have time to reply to everyone, starting with, "But did you tell him not to call you a B? Like, how would he know otherwise?" Honestly, if someone has gone to the age of 30 and not realized that women, as a whole, do not like having demeaning slurs used against them, they're beyond my help. This isn't something that needs to be told. I shouldn't have to go through life like, "Hey man, just in case you were thinking I might like demeaning slurs against my gender used on me, I don't actually," smile. And if you were about to comment something like that, let me just tell you in no uncertain terms, women do not like being called B's by men. Do not call women B's. If you needed to be told that it is unkind, consider yourself officially told. Now you have no excuse not to understand. So, am I the jerk for how I reacted when my boyfriend asked me, "What's for dinner tonight?"
And
this whole thing's stupid.
I forgot to tell you that it was that kind of video. I apologize, and Lord knows that's the worst kind because it's like, what the hell are you even playing? I don't even know what's going on. But I apologize.
Okay.
Go ahead, Theo.
However long that video is, you owe me that amount of my life back. That was the hell. You know, I mean, all right, first, I'm going to go kind of like in haphazard order. You a grown ass man and you like just figure you could do whatever you see on a TikTok video?
Mm-hmm.
For real? Okay, so you stupid. That's that one. Yeah, that's that one. Then the other one. All right, so the B word. I grew up in a different time. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. So that means that is a word that we simply do not use. Like we could use it matter if you play back all the times that we've been on video, I curse a lot. I don't use that word. So that's from a different time though. Because these kids now, or young adults really now, that word means nothing to them. They use it haphazardly. Women call each other that all the time. Men call women that. Women call men that. It's so prevalent. I'm sorry, ma'am. Climb down off your high horse because don't act like that word just shook your whole world and now you women's lib, okay? But what he did was purely an asshole, childish, frat boy. I mean, that's just dumb, you know? And then, all right, so she gets mad and throws the pot of spaghetti sauce.
You ruined the whole pot of sauce.
First of all, you throw food in my house behind anything I said. Oh, you ain't got to worry about if it's going to be the end of our relationship. I don't care what I said to you. I could have said something about your mama. Don't you throw no food in my house. So the fact that you sat here and threw food in my house, we done anyway, baby. We done. It's good. I was wrong. I get it. But you got to go. That's just how I feel about it. But overall, yeah, he was wrong because what he did was just dumb.
But this is real or not?
Real or not?
Oh, so once again, I want to say nah, but then I'm going to say it could be real. The chain of events could line up with something I could say people would do.
All right, Tracy.
This is real. This is absolutely positively real. Let's be, I'm about to make a sexist remark. Some men just are not bright. Some people, let me backtrack that one.
That's just a fair statement, Tracy.
Are just not bright.
That's a fair statement too.
Let me cut you off real quick, Tracy. It's kind of hard for me to stop you by going, not all men are stupid after playing this video. So
you thought that calling them, I don't care what today's little generation thinks. First of all, y'all need to stop eating Tide Pods. And second of all, call me one. Oh, I'm gonna be throwing more than pots. I'm gonna be throwing more than foods. I'm gonna be throwing these hands. That's what I'm gonna be throwing. That's what I'm gonna be throwing. Yeah, this is real. This is real. I have heard men call their women beasts, and she's like, "What? I wish some trifling." Oh Lord, I ain't always been safe. But let me tell you something. Oh, I wish. Oh, please make the mistake.
Hey, Parker.
Hey, Parker.
Hey.
I wish a man would ever make the mistake of saying, "What's for dinner be?" He'd have got Al Green. That's what he would have got. That's what he would have gotten.
Oh, now we scrapping. See, now we scrapping. Now I got to go to jail.
You gonna call me out of my name? My name is Tracy.
Now I got to go to jail. You throw some hot food on me.
You call me a bee.
The police coming for the door. The police coming for me.
I'll call them on
myself.
myself. I will call them on myself. I will call them on myself. You do not ever call me out of my name.
Throw some boiling hot spaghetti sauce or the Al Green treatment, the grits, on me. You ain't gonna have time to call the police. Ain't nobody making out this house okay. All our worlds just went sideways. That's why, fellas, don't disrespect your woman. You don't get to control what happens after you done did that.
Yeah, because we're gonna go all the way postal up on you. You don't get to call. First of all, my name is Tracy.
Y'all remember that used to be a thing though? It don't happen too often anymore.
What?
Postal shootings and everything else, but we still use it.
Oh, now we got school shootings now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm gonna go elementary on you. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, it's real. And Yeah, they're both wrong.
She ain't wrong, but I see where you're going.
It's just an overreaction, and turn around and leave.
Boy, I would like to say I could do that. Boy, I would like that.
Here's my thing. Me and Diaz grew up relatively in the same atmosphere, without even being in the same state. When a man calls a woman a B word, it's usually going to be a fight. Like they automatically know it's going to be a fight. Like it's not, oh, this started to be a fight. No, at this point in time, it was
It's a fight.
purposely said because at this point in time, we're ready to fight. That was the point of using the word. We don't respect you. I ain't gonna say we because I ain't using that word. Sorry. I grew up with a black mama. I am not using that word. I don't care how bad I am. And y'all have all met Foxy. So, so it ain't never going to be used by me. I'm sorry. I'm kind of used to what's
respecting?
the word?
Yeah, respecting.
Living. I'm used to living,
so
I'm not going to ever use that word.
Yeah, because you may get a Tracy on you.
So, yeah, me growing up I know, Parker. My background has been going off and on all day, and I'm not going to fix it right now. I don't even care anymore. So when it was said back in my day, it was the guy saying, okay, at this point, we're finna fight, so I don't care what comes out of my mouth.
And see, I come from 100%, bro. But it's like it was never about fighting her anyway. It was because once you say that to her, you might have to fight her if she about that life. But you will be fighting every male friend and every male relative,
every male cousin, her brother, her cousin, her father, her next
nearby,
uncle. Yeah, it's about to be. It's about to go down.
All she need to do is place that one phone call.
Yeah, but for the next week, you need to have your head on a swivel because somebody coming.
Dip out of town, bro. Just dip, go.
Because here's the deal. But the part that got me, which kind of threw me, but apparently I'm going to call it real because everybody else said that it's real and it's possible. So if that story is possible, excuse me, if that part is possible, it's also possible for some moron, and I'm sorry, dude, but she was absolutely correct. At a certain age, no woman needs to walk up to you and go, oh, by the way, just in case you want to use the B word, I don't like it. Now, I'm not even going to say this next statement is not on the same level, but I'm saying it because I want you to put it in perspective of your stupidity. It's the equivalent of going, oh, I'm sorry, but just in case we haven't held this conversation, being a black man, please do not use the N word around me, sir.
Well, with these young folk, you might need to have that conversation because they actually think that they can say stuff like that. Now, I done beat up your little snotty 25-year-old kid, you know.
Well, you hit me just a baby.
You never told me. Well, now you know.
Me and my friends say it all the time. And my friend's black. Okay, well, I'm not your friend.
He's black adjacent. Because if he knew, he would correct your little...
How many white people I have known and heard it and been like, yo, really?
I've had some friends. I've had some white friends growing up who had bless their heart. They're real friends because they're the ones who sing the song that has the N word in it. But you could purposely look over there and watch them skip that word. Like, I'm not finna whisper it. I'm not finna like mouth it, but don't say nothing. It's literally like they was the equivalent of bleep if they could have said bleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rule. See, that's the thing. Rule. Like for me coming up, you know, my friends were all different ethnicities. But
yeah,
if you are rolling with the crew and you say something like that, This is literally how we flow. White dude's chilling with us. He might be cool with us. He might be a stranger to us, but either way, he's chilling with us. And then I can't even read that. What did it say?
Parker said he should pull out the Carl Mack calendar, so he pulled it out.
I've had it since last year, Parker.
Oh,
so
mine's over there.
I don't know who Carl Mack is, so I'll just show.
He's a dude on the other show.
Oh, Ben, who wasn't it? If you ever don't ask him a question unless you got a good 20 minutes of open.
Oh, well, that's probably why, because I don't like those.
He's a good storyteller, and if you don't know what he's talking about, then it's a good education. But if you do know,
but he's also a bully.
And the next time I'll ask a question.
Yeah, he's a bully. That's my problem with him. Yeah, because
I never thought he was a bully. I just think he overspeaks. He over talks.
Is he extra?
He's very good at what he's talking about, but he just he's one of those people who and this is a pet peeve of mine, whatever, because I have it, by the way, and I'm trying real hard to stop doing it. You can ask him a question and he'll answer it correctly. His only issue is then he'll go and start it over again. And then he'll start it and say it over again in a different way. And then he'll go and start it a third way. And I'm like,
you just said that 18
I got it the first freaking time that you said it. I don't need
He don't remember what he said.
Okay, well.
Or he trying to make it different in case.
Your answer was like 40 minutes ago. I got it the first time.
His own show.
Well, I don't know. Here's my take on this particular gentleman. Very intelligent man, very accomplished. He likes to brag on himself a lot, but whatever. I guess if you've accomplished 20% of what you say you've accomplished, then brag, right? You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, you're an elder, so you done did all this in your life, and you still trying to pour out information to other people. All right, go ahead and do your brag. We'll just have to see past that. Let that roll. Where he gets me though is where he'll make his point, and it's not often that he's wrong. And he's seldom, if ever, fully wrong. But he's so accustomed to being right and being that dude that, like, who's that guy who's like in the production? He's like the engineer or whatnot, has that real deep voice.
The one with the baby.
The brother with the real deep voice. But he'll point out where he's off base. And then it becomes like a fight. And they go back, and they've done it on multiple segments, right? And I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'll never ask who was such and such ever again.
I've never seen that happen, but if he is doing that, that's a bully. Because that's somebody
so that's my
I want to hear myself talk, but I don't want to listen to somebody else talk. Even if disagreeing with me, I don't want to hear your point of view because I've already said my point of view. I've met people like this. I have met people. I've made my point of view. I don't want to hear your point of view because if your point of view is different from my point of view, then it's going to be an argument. When in reality, like I've always tried to show people, is it doesn't have to be either or. Two different things could be happening at the exact same time. It's possible to happen. You're pointing out one point, they're pointing out another point, but y'all arguing over, no, my shoes are bigger than your shoes, or whatever the stupid argument is that you're making. Is like, I'm not finna hold this conversation with you if you're not willing to listen. I have better things to do. Like my cousin said, if I'll do nothing but go outside and jump up and down in the rain, it's better time used than listening to you argue over a point that's just 1 centimeter different than your. I know Anna, he was a nut, but it made sense to me at the time when he said it. So, it's the equivalent of just saying I would rather do anything than hold a conversation with you. Basically,
no, I mean, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty in certain respects. So I can feel it. And that's why when I see somebody else doing it, I'm like, dude, stop it. Stop it. You know, but yeah, it's just he will really, you know, it's just his style kind of gets at me. But like I said, incredibly smart dude. I learned something every time he
is his name
that
Jay
I've seen.
It's DJ.
Who?
No, you're getting that confused with Ready or Not.
Like It or Not, and he's
Or
on
Like It or Not.
and
He's on Like It or Not.
it's the same show, Tracy.
It's
Yeah, I was trying not to say the name.
It's basically the same show.
Right.
I know
Okay.
it's supposed to be Rebecca's show, but
That's
Benjamin has been.
Is the show still on?
It came on. They had a live last night.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I you know, the only thing I watch now is you guys' work, so I don't.
Thank you, Theus.
Well, the funny thing about it is I can't watch the show anymore. I haven't watched it in a while because my job blocked it.
You can watch it at home.
You were watching it on their Wi-Fi?
Yep.
No, you're supposed to watch
get
it
you
at
an
home.
unlimited data plan and turn off your Wi-Fi.
You should be watching it at home if you're gonna watch people's podcasts.
I'm not gonna watch it. It wasn't that important.
No, it's cool. But yeah, that's that little thing about him. But yeah, I don't even know what we were really talking about before we went off on that particular.
No, that was it, and I don't even care no more. The point is, don't call women B unless you want to.
Get a pot of sauce thrown on you.
Okay,
see, now
let me roll back on you on that one. Theus, I appreciate it, Theus. I appreciate everything that you said. Tracy, me and you gonna fight.
We sure are. Don't call me no B. Don't call me a B. You can call me a lot of things. You can call me loud. You can call me ignorant.
I'm not taking it wrong. But there is no word that I can tell to you that's gonna last longer than hot steaming whatever on my doggone skin that I gotta live for the rest of my daggone life. Nothing. Zero. Nada.
I'm telling
in
you
my
what,
world, that's the equivalent of you shot me.
That is an assault.
And my
well, then press charges, because you're not gonna call me.
Ain't gonna be no charges.
Ain't gonna be no press charges. It ain't gonna be no press charges.
Call me a B. If either one of y'all make the mistake of, I will find you.
I get it. Just understand that the argument's not going to be over after you throw the pot.
You gonna call me by my right name, which is Tracy. You're not gonna call me out of my name. You're not gonna call me the N word. You're not gonna call me the B word. You're not gonna call me the C word. You're gonna call me by my name, and you're gonna spell it right.
Is the C word really that bad to black?
Yes, to me it is. To me it is.
If you're talking about the same C word, I'm talking about because that's the derogatory aspect to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but okay.
You're dehumanizing.
That's bad.
You're dehumanizing regardless. I'm not saying that. It's and by the way, it's the equivalent of me saying don't call anybody out of their name.
No, a little more than that.
But I'm talking about these two specific words. The C word is the C word just as bad to a black woman as the B word would be to a white woman?
They're both bad. They're both equally bad. There's no contest.
They're both equally bad.
Oh, I don't know about equal, but I don't know. I'm not a woman.
To me,
I'm not going to answer this question. I have not a clue.
To me, because I'm only a black woman on the panel. You call me either one, we tussling. Period. I'm gonna throw religion all the way out the door. We tussling. Me.
Okay, so, Anna, is it? Because
it's not the same.
It's not the same. Okay. Because here's the deal. When I listen to the stories all the time, you kind of can hear where the C word is used a lot in the white culture for insult to the white woman. Never the B word. And then rewind and vice versa. When they're talking about a black woman, it's always the B word. So that's what I'm saying.
You gotta know your history.
Well,
it comes down to history. It's like history and culture.
Don't call nobody out of their damn name, period. So
No, I agree. But like for me,
Look
there are
at
certain
what
words that are
Native women were called. That in their
what?
language meant vagina.
Okay.
Starts with
So
S.
outside in, outside in, because I'm not. I don't know if anybody can tell, but I'm not white, right? So outside in, what I've observed is it's a different struggle, so to speak, right? Um, a black woman from the beginning of its interaction with the European culture has been called a black bee, almost synonymous with being called an N-word. The N-word was primarily used towards black men. The woman was basically called a black bee or the N-word. So it's been rocking with the black woman since day one. So it's tied into her very humanity, right? Then you go to the white woman. The white woman has never had to fight for her humanity. However, she has always had to fight for her rights and to be seen as an equal. She's always had that fight. So when you call a white woman the C word, that is their way. It, like to the black woman, they would have called her a black bee. They called a white woman the C. Because what they're doing is they're removing your humanity and they're basically taking her and making her no better than her private part. And if you look at their culture, the white woman is constantly reduced to how is she of service to the white man. When she gets too old, they will switch her out and get a younger wife. If he has social status that allows him to do so. If she doesn't have children, then she's not really considered to be a full woman. If she's not pretty, then she has that issue. If she's not whatever, it always, like we talk about a lot in the black community, how women are held to the beauty standard or whatever, but it's an actual offshoot from how much we've been tied to European culture. Because in the European culture, the woman is commoditized to the point that it's just ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. It's how does she reflect on him? Yeah. That is not the case in the black community up until more recently when we've come out of a lot of our other struggles. Now we act like we white folk and we do the same thing to our women, which is why the issue is ideology and power. Because the ideology and the power can transfer across groups. And so what happens is you don't really, I said this in a post not too long ago, you don't actually want to be free. You don't want everybody to be free. You just want to be free. You don't want to get rid of the plantation. You want the deed to the house. And that's what happens. The black man, talking to you brothers, and this is a generalized statement, but it's getting too numerous of us out here that have lost our way. Black men, you are now acting like the white man that we've always complained about. The very ills that the white man has done to his woman, you're doing it now.
You're doing
reducing her to how she looks, reducing her to her body part. It is just sickening. And it's disgusting to me, especially within our community, because nobody has been as loyal, and nobody has struggled as hard, nobody has gone through more pain, nobody has gone through more rejection than the black woman. She's been with us since day one. They brought her on the same damn ship. We got to do better by our women. And sisters, I don't know what to say to y'all except thank you for all that you have done. First off, thank you for all that you have done. But then also just a message to the black people out there. If you see this, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we have to get to the point where we just say one day, we forgive each other. No settling scores. No, I had it worse or better than you. None of that. And we got to just decide amongst ourselves, I forgive you, please forgive me. even if you don't think you did anything, because you did. We have to do that and then move forward. But we got to stop this thing, man. We got to stop acting like black women ain't loyal to black men and black men got it so bad. We do have it bad. We got it bad. We pay taxes for people to kill us. Okay? But don't act like you don't realize, or matter of fact, if you don't understand this, go to any courtroom, anytime. Most of them have open viewing areas in the court. Take your male black ass to the courthouse and you look and see who's putting up bail. You look and see who's crying. You look see who's begging for leniency. It ain't gonna be us. That black woman burying her child, trying to save her son from the court. That's why I get so upset sometimes. But I'm sorry, I took y'all on a whole new. Give me another reel of nine, I'll shut up.
Happy Saturday Night Vibes.
Yeah.
Foxy's videos of the week, and bless our heart, because I don't know what these videos are because I forgot to name them. Well, this is going to be potluck. I'm sorry. I forgot to name them. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I have no idea what these videos are. So we're going to respond to all of them without actually knowing what the hell they are. So have fun.
Hi, yes, I'm calling from the school just to let you know that your daughter's kind of struggling today. She's having a really hard time, and it might be a good idea to come pick her up. Mom, I know I'm the teacher, but can you just please come pick me?
I feel that in my soul. Sometimes you just need your mama.
Boy, you ain't never said nothing that wasn't the truth.
Look, mine is downstairs right now, and I have caught myself sitting on the couch going, and remember when, and this is like, and I walked up, okay, good night, mama, and I walk up the stairs, and even sometimes I've caught myself going, well, I feel like I'm 10 years old. It's like, it's my damn house. It's my house and my yard. I got cars outside and everything. Like, but it's something about being around your mama.
She the same age over you now as she was the day you were born.
Yep.
Oh,
Boy.
Yeah.
And when she's gone, and I'm talking about from personal experience, when she cannot be replaced. Ain't nobody ever gonna replace her. I
wouldn't even try. Because bless my heart, my mother-in-law, I love my mother-in-law to death. She is a wonderful woman. Love her with all my heart. My mother-in-law ain't nothing like my mama. It is literally totally two different
people.
They are totally.
But why would you expect them to be?
I mean, you kind of think about it, and this is all right. Check this out. All right. You got bad parents out there. You got good parents, you got bad parents, and you got all the spectrum in between, right? Okay. Your kids are literally the only thing factory designed for you. If you really kind of stop and think about it, they're the only ones. Huh?
Not quite. And I'll tell you why.
Oh. Okay.
Because I'm gonna step back just a little bit. Unless you're talking about nurturing, then I agree with you.
Oh, I'm not sure I follow. I'm sorry.
I will tell you, because everybody knows I have one biological child. I have 4 stepkids. Now, of course, everybody also know from this point on, they're all my kids. My biological child is my biological child. Love her to death. My one stepchild who's in the middle, Um, if you didn't know that she was my stepchild, you would promise that's my kid. Like that's my blood, because she acts, her mannerism, everything is me. It's like sometimes I even look at her and go, so are you watching me so you can do? No, I ain't doing that. I wouldn't do something. But when I hear her on the phone talking to her friends, when I see her walking around with her friends and she say stuff, or the way she walks, or the way she talks, or her mannerism, I'm like, that's
what age did she come into your life?
6.
Oh well, yeah. Then
Makes a
naturally,
lot of
that
sense.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And she's like in her.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now about nature and nurture. I'm not saying one over the other.
That's why I said nurturing.
Yeah, I'm not saying one over the other, because part of and it actually still goes into nature. The human baby is unlike most other animals out there, where the baby cannot care for itself. It has to imprint upon something in order to survive. That's why a baby, in my opinion, now this part is my opinion. The first part is just a fact, but this part is my opinion. That's one of the reasons why God gave these babies these big ass heads and these googly eyes and make the little cute sounds, because you fall in love with the little thing. It's just like a puppy, you know. It's like it's just adorable. It just attaches, and you attach to it. But that's part of the natural system that we have. So you have a child come into your life when they're like 5, 6, 7. I would say all the way up to maybe around 7 to 8 years old. They imprint on you, because much of our learning as human beings is nonverbal. So yes, your child acts a lot like you because you showed your child how to be a person. Right? Now, what I was saying as far as being the design piece, I was saying a little tongue in cheek, yeah, but saying it like design, because like literally nature took pieces of each parent and created a person. Like it's literally made for you. Now, unfortunately, we've got people who aren't up to the task, and they don't take their responsibility to that child seriously, and that's terrible.
Yeah, still going back to that video, that little girl looking at that mom saying, and this is why I stay with daddy. It's like, really? Anyway, I ain't trying to make a downer of this. Next video, next potluck video again. I told you, I don't know what it is. So good luck.
Look, if you can't afford to have a baby, then you really shouldn't have one. Right, that's why abortion is so important. Oh, no, I don't support abortion. All I'm saying is that the woman should have known better. Oh, so you're saying we should provide sex education? No, that's inappropriate. That's corrupting our youth. Okay, and what about using contraceptives such as condoms or birth control? Well, that would mean that you're engaging in sexual activity for something other than procreation, so no. Okay, so we can't educate ourselves on it. We can't be safe while doing it. Right, you really just shouldn't be doing it at all. Sure, and what happens if I am sexually assaulted? Well, you kind of shouldn't be accepting drinks or leading a man on if you don't want to do something with him. Oh, okay, so we can just say no. Yes, well, you don't want to be rude. Okay, so now I'm pregnant with a child I don't want and can't afford. Well, there's plenty of resources that you can go to that can help you. When was the last time you donated to these resources? Well, that's not my responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, you get into that circular argument so easy with people, and it's on so many things, but abortion is the easiest one. Because like my thing with Congress, right? What did Republicans, and they did the same thing with healthcare. All right, so with abortion, it was like, okay, we don't want women having abortions. You need to be responsible for the decisions that you make. And then we'll deal with the exceptions as they, come up. And we unfortunately saw in real time how they want to deal with those exceptions. But my thing was this. I think that there's a way that the two quote unquote sides could have gotten to somewhere that made sense. Now, granted, Roe v. Wade already was kind of that compromise. But you look at it and say, okay, look, What is it that we want? We want less abortion. Okay. How do we get less abortions? All the things that the lady just pointed out in the video is how you reduce the number of abortions. You put all of them out there. And then if you don't want your child to get those particular options, then teach your child why those aren't the best options for your child to consider. That's what you do as a parent, right? You don't teach your child how not to be a Muslim. You teach them how to be a Christian, right? It's like, teach them what you want to teach them. That is your right as a parent. And there you go. You want to teach your child abstinence? Go for it. Teach your child abstinence. But don't get in the way of someone else who wants to teach their child how to be responsible and understand how science works and how biology works and how they can now be empowered to make other decisions. But we can't have that full-throated conversation because everybody has their agenda and we rather just stick to the sound bites.
This is literally no different than the House, Congress, President, conservative, Democrats, Christian, whites, blacks, Latinos. It doesn't matter. You come up with the answer and then you formulate all the questions that's going to lead to that answer. That's what you pretty much you do. You already know what you want to say. You already know how you feel. You already know the status that you want. And you already got at the very end, this is what I want America to be. So now you just formulate questions that's going to lead to that. CRT. We've gone through this so many times it's not funny. And I got a video of it. I must play it next week. Explain what CRT is. Explain what CRT is. Explain what CRT is. And you ignore it and ignore it and ignore it and ignore it because the only thing that you got is it shouldn't be taught at school. What is it?
Oh, you know what's funny? They get real close.
We know what it is. We know where it's taught. We know when it's taught. Never been taught in elementary, junior high, high school, excuse me, undergrad.
College.
No, we know what it is.
Upper.
We know that you ain't gonna get it to grad school. But that's not what you want to hear. That's not what they want to hear. That's not what they want to hear. It should be taught in elementary. Bruh. I literally, hold on one second, Thea, because I literally had this argument with somebody. Online, and of course, when I have an argument with somebody online about this, apparently their internet suddenly automatically don't work anymore. Because he said, so you feel that CRT should be taught in elementary school? And I said, CRT is not taught in elementary school. Oh, yes, it is. It's taught in elementary school. I said, cool. Here's what I want you to do. Give me the school, the elementary school, where it's being taught in. Just one. Since it's a nationwide issue, it shouldn't be hard to find one. Nationwide, one school. Nationwide, one school. Nationwide, thousands, millions of schools. Show me one school. All of a sudden, your internet seems to not work. It's amazing how that works.
Okay, but one thing that, if you look at language and how it does change, this is one of the times where we're seeing CRT. Yes, it means a very, very specific class for lawyers. It is now being brought into the public sphere of language as meaning Black history, anything that may, I don't know why, make a white child uncomfortable. The meaning is getting changed because this is how language works.
But
yeah.
It's not a but, Anna. I'm just piggybacking on what you're saying, and that's the design of it. If it doesn't fit your definition of what you want, you change the definition. So now everything is CRT. I wouldn't have known what CRT was. I mean, I've heard of it. I did. I've heard of it for years. But it would not have been that big of a deal if you didn't make it out to be the most heinous, disgusting individual thing. And it's amazing to me that it's the most heinous, disgusting individual thing on the face of the planet, only because you don't want little Jimmy to feel bad about himself. And little Jimmy wasn't going to feel bad about himself because little Jimmy would have just been like, oh, that's kind of effed up. But at the same time, little Jimmy would have been, you don't know what little Jimmy would have did with that information. Little Jimmy would have looked at the information and went, oh, that's messed up. I need to have a better life. Sorry, but we live in America, so I got to be realistic. We also could have had little Jimmy look at it and go, it wasn't as bad as they made it out to be.
My papa says.
Yeah. So we don't know what little Jimmy would have took it. What the deal is, and I'll get with you things in a second. What the deal is, and don't take this as verbatim for what I'm saying. I'm just making a point. You really don't give a rat's ass what little Jimmy's feelings is about how he feel about that subject. You, parents, don't want to feel bad about the subject. That's the deal. You don't want to relive it because you're way older than little Jimmy. Regardless of when you had little Jimmy, you're way older than little Jimmy. So you, as the educational aspect of it, well, and Anna, I'm actually trying to give them a benefit of a doubt, okay?
They just rather ignore.
As the educational elementary education of history that you was going to get, you as a parent knows the deeper philosophical truth of that same history. Like I said, I was literally trying to be nice. I know some of them don't. Some of them don't. Some of them didn't care, and some of them wasn't trying to learn anyway.
Well, I'll think not even quite like that. But first thing I would say is we're having the wrong argument and the wrong discussion. That's why the left, whatever that means, continues to get their ass handed to them. What is it?
Critical race theory.
I'm sitting here like CRCT. Okay, so CRT.
Don't feel bad because when CRT came out of my mouth and nobody said nothing, in the back of my head I went, oh yes, that was the right letters in the right order. Good. Crap.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's just today's euphemism for anti-black. And
right.
That's all it is. And we allow ourselves to get sucked into these wrong debates. And I understand how we ended up in them in the beginning because CRT is upper level course, blah, blah, blah. But the people you're talking to, they don't understand that any more than you do. So it's really kind of wasted energy there. What they're getting at is CRT is nothing but intersectionality. That's all it is. So where the quote unquote left lost it is because one, they never listened to us black folk. So let's just be real. Just because black people exist on the left doesn't listen to us either. So they just bring us out as props whenever they need to.
Right.
So first we had woke. Now, within the black community, at first woke was something that we said as a term of endearment. Stay woke, my brother. But then it became a punchline when then we started saying you were whatever that term is, were you Hotep, right? Because at first we had respect for the Hotep brothers, the Black Israelites.
What's the word? I'm sorry. What's the word?
Hotep. But woke. But woke was just a way of just saying, be aware of your surroundings, know your history to know yourself, understand how we all connect in this black diaspora so that you can walk with your head held high. That's where you heard all that king and queen and Grand Rising and all of that stuff, right? But then it was said so much because people didn't really understand it. But we come from a thirsty, desperate community who has always been set adrift from our own identity. So we're always searching for an identity. And if you look through our history, we've always been on this course. We've run from one identity to the next identity to the next one, all trying to find our way back to our roots. But I digress. So when you sit there and you look at it, you have this situation where woke became a punchline with us, so we let it go for the most part. But our white liberal friends are always trailing behind us with our vernacular because the way we talk is just so cute. It's so quaint. It's so hip. It's so trendy. That's why you have gentrification happening in the manner in which it happens, because they enjoy the culture. They've always enjoyed the culture. They've always enjoyed how you find joy and you find togetherness and you find whatever you find and having a good time in the midst of your struggles. For people who do not know the struggle, that kind of shit is entertaining and endearing. So they want to get close to it, but let's get close to the culture. But can we please get rid of all the poor shit? Can we get all of that out the way? And then you end up pushing out the people who had the culture that you say you wanted, but that's a whole nother thing. So I digress again, but I'm saying all this for a reason. When you sit here and look at how language works, which is what Anna was pointing out, these things start to morph. And then we're living in a very propagandized environment. So they had woke, they didn't really latch on to it too tight. CRT came up and they're like, oh, let's make that black and white. Let's make CRT about black people and white people. And if you notice, that's the only way they frame that conversation. Even though CRT is not about black race theory, it's critical race theory. It's looking at the American society as a whole and how all these things intersect to create the structural situation that we find ourselves in today.
Our structural policy and how racism is baked into it.
How race, it's not just, it's racism, it's sexism, it's ableism, it's all of it. CRT hits all of that. And it's black people, Asian people, all the people.
All the people.
But in America, we got to get down to black and white as quickly as we can, because that's something we can easily stand divided on and make money off of and do all those things. That's how we ended up getting Juneteenth as some little dumbass token that they threw at us because we were asking for rights and shit. You know, all that stuff is baked in together. So what I say is, don't get into debates with people about CRT because 9 times out of 10, we don't understand it enough to be in the debate. We just know it enough to be a little bit more advanced than the person we're talking to, right? But you mess around and you're going to come across one of them right-leaning conservative knuckle draggers who does know what CRT is. And they will eat you for lunch because you're sitting there trying to argue something you don't fully understand.
Right.
Understand that CRT is about intersectionality, and then you're right there. So now you can just have them debate with you about what is their problem with intersectionality. Then we got wokeism. Ask them, what does it mean? They can never really give you an answer. They can only give you sound bites. Because wokeism is just a way of saying don't say nothing about something black. Don't talk about criminal justice. Don't talk about social justice. Don't talk about police reform. Don't talk about criminal justice reform. First of all those things are not synonymous with being black, but the fact that you see it that way tells you a lot about the problems with those very same things. That's where we have to get people to zone in on. When people come to you with this dumbass verbal fetch, rhetorical fetch, talking about wokeism and CRT, you just ask, boil it down. What is your concern? Not where is it being taught? What is your concern? How can I help you understand, or how can you help me understand where you're coming from? Let them self-destruct right in front of you. But instead, we get into the game, and then it never gets anywhere.
I can't do it, Theus. I understand and I agree with everything.
I get it.
I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying, but I can't get into an argument with people who brought M&Ms into an argument about race relations. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. You feel bad about everything else, but as soon as you talk about the red M&M and the blue and the brown, and I'm like, okay.
That's part of my point. That's what I'm saying. Don't get into debates with them. When they come to you with that thing and they say something along those lines to you, all you want to do is make them talk. Let them talk.
Yeah.
No, that's what I thought I was doing. I was just like, show me the school where their teachers CRT, but
you're giving them homework.
Yeah, they don't want to do that.
They ain't gonna do
You're giving them homework. They're not going to do it.
They will find that there are schools in Florida
there are charter schools
teach exactly what they think.
It's CRT.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They will go find the most pro-black, Black Israelite, revolutionary, new Black Panther Party, whatever, all the layers.
Yep.
And they'll find that one school, and they'll be like, see,
look at this school in Mississippi that's 65% Black. You gonna tell me they're not teaching CRT? Okay, bro. Okay, yeah, all right. Anyway,
I had a great conversation with somebody not too long ago. Great dude, great dude, but comes up from a different side of the political world, right? And we're sitting here talking about history. I didn't sit here and have me like verbal vomit all over him. No,
Right.
I was like, okay, so when we're talking about, because part of the conversation came up about Black history should be American history, right? I think we've even heard, was it Morgan Freeman or somebody said that dumbass shit? But anyway, that's something that's very prominent on the right.
But it's ridiculous.
They have shifted their language to say that the fact that you want to focus on Black history is divisive because we should be one big nation and talk about American history. And that's when you get them. And you say, well, tell me about the Freedmen's Bureau.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the Japanese internment camp.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you tell me a little bit about Fannie Lou Hamer? Hey, you know what? Shirley Chisholm. I've always wanted to know more about her. I guess I missed it in my history class. What can you tell me about her? Let them make the point for you, because I guarantee you most Black folk can't answer the questions I just asked, and they sure as hell can't answer it because they weren't taught it either. The difference is in America, to be white is to have an option. You can opt out of knowing. And now you have all these people that you used to be able to ignore making all this noise saying, you don't get the option. If I got to know it, you got to know it too.
Boy, you're going to have an interesting breakfast in the morning with these people on the other side of that wall listening to you.
They be all right. Shit.
Next video.
Get me down there for breakfast time and have everybody gather around the table. Let's talk.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So next video, again, fair warning. I have no idea what it is.
Black people need to stop complaining about systemic racism and take some personal responsibility. Everyone is equal under the law now. They may be policed more, but that's only because they commit a disproportionate amount of the crime. Why? Well, I'm not saying that Black people are naturally more likely to be criminals or anything. I just think it's a part of their culture. Why? Well, probably because their dads weren't around to raise them properly. Why? I don't know, probably because they were too poor to afford a kid, so they left. Why? Well, they probably can't get a good job because they never went to college. Why? Well, I guess it is probably because they couldn't afford it, but they didn't get good enough grades to get a scholarship either. Why? Well, I guess that is probably because their school is underfunded. Why? Because school funding is determined by property taxes, and they were born into poor areas. Why? Because their family hasn't been able to build enough wealth to move out. Why? Because the first black people who were born with equal rights under the law are less than 60 years old.
The genius of a 4-year-old.
That is what you keep doing.
You ever had a conversation with a 4-year-old? There you go.
Why?
But why?
It's the equivalent of when somebody told me when somebody has a racist joke or a sexist joke or a homophobic joke, you always just look at them and just go, I don't get it. Can you explain that to me? Why that's funny? Because I don't understand why that's funny. I don't get it. And just watch, as Thea said, just watch their face just melt off because they're like, okay, now I have to literally go into my racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic ways of life to explain a joke.
Yeah, that's perfect. I never even thought about doing that. That would be perfect.
Oh,
say a dumbass joke.
Yeah, no.
Say a dumbass joke and then just be like, I don't even give you the whole speech. Just be like, I don't get it. Can you explain it to me?
Yeah, I don't get. No, you ain't got to go into a big speech. You just look at them straight face and go, I'm sorry, I don't understand what's the joke. Don't say what's so funny about it because then you give off the impression of, oh, I get the joke, but I don't find it funny. Don't say that because then it's a whole argument of, oh, you're just being a snowflake and all that. No, you literally have to say.
That's what I said.
I don't.
Real simple. I don't get it. Explain it to me.
I don't get.
That's it.
What's that? What? I don't get the joke. What's the joke? Or what part is?
Because when you say it that way, Marlon, it would tip me off that you were trying to get me on a gotcha moment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yep, I don't get it. Somebody explain it to me. I missed it. Somebody.
I don't get it.
I want to laugh too.
Now the funny thing about it is, last week I did the joke about the banana peeling, and everybody just looked at me like I was crazy. So
because it wasn't funny.
It was funny to me. It was hilarious to me, but whatever. I have a sick sense of humor.
Hey, how does the tree feel in the spring?
Oh, this is gonna be bad. How, Theus?
Relieved.
Well, that's funnier than Dave Chappelle, so I mean, I'll give you that. Or David Chappelle, or whatever his name is.
I think Dave Chappelle is hilarious.
I think he's the most...
I don't go out of my way to listen to him.
Oh, did I tell y'all who's taking over the Daily Report?
They have
Daily
guest
show?
hosts.
They rotate.
It's just, yeah.
They rotate now?
Who?
Yeah, they're rotating hosts until they can find.
They're rotating for now. Yeah, I think they're like auditioning people. To be honest with you, but I don't see how DL Hughley is going to stick with it. It's not his type of thing, even though he is very political. So maybe.
Yeah.
Wanda Sykes, I love her no matter what she does.
I heard DL Hughley, and DL Hughley is funny, but he's more political than funny.
Of course, Leslie Jones always has me in tears.
I have to say, because recently when I met him,
my problem with Leslie Jones is she usually goes a little bit too over the top with everything.
That's why I like her.
No, but it's like it's not funny. Like it's just aggressive, and that's fine in segments, but every day.
It will get
every episode.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I think she's hilariously funny. She's funnier than Chelsea Handler, who irks me to the most.
Yeah. Chelsea, whatever her name is, she's not my type of humor.
I've said this before, Tracy. Just because you funnier then don't mean that you still funny.
She was never funny. Never. I'm like, I don't get it. Like she'll tell a Lindsey Graham joke. Okay,
I can't even remember the guy's name anymore because I mean, I literally cannot remember the guy's name. He was a comedian and he was all over the place.
George Lopez.
I never thought.
No, he's great.
I never thought George Lopez.
I love George Lopez.
I never thought he was funny.
Me neither.
Honestly,
I never thought he was funny. How familiar and comfortable are y'all with like Latin and Hispanic family structure and stuff? Because if you spend a lot of time with Latinos, the dude is hilarious. Huh?
He is hilarious.
I don't know, but then again, I didn't think Fluffy was funny either.
I don't think Fluffy's funny either.
Fluffy.
I don't know Fluffy.
Heck, I don't think Earthquake. I don't think Cat Williams is funny. So everybody says my taste is gone.
Well, Cat Williams used to be hilarious.
Until he started having
beef. He was the only one doing what Cat does.
Being annoying.
Cat Williams is on the same for me. Talking for myself. Cat Williams and Kevin Hart and
nah, he ain't in Kevin Hart's league. Well,
no,
Kevin Hart's not funny.
I'm talking about his concerts.
Oh, his concerts.
Like, yeah, you was funny. Now it's just it just comes off like you're just recycling jokes over and over and over.
Yeah, he seems more mad at other comedians that he feels like didn't give him respect. It's like, you ain't Richard Pryor, shut up.
So, yeah. But anyway, next
video.
video.
As much as I liked Richard Pryor, I never really liked his stand-up. Same thing with Eddie Murphy. I wasn't never really into his stand-up either. I've never been into Eddie Murphy's comedy. I've liked his movies.
I was never a Red Fox concert person.
Now that's who I wasn't a fan of.
Now Red I love.
I was not a Red Fox. I literally listened to a whole Red Fox album.
I was like,
it was a once in a blue moon chuckle, but I'm like, I don't see how.
Maybe he had that high class humor that I don't get. I'm like, I don't get it.
Well, he also came up. Remember, he was a 1920s, 1930s comic. So like his stylings are, they were a little different.
I literally listened to. Oh, by the way, if you actually want to have your mind blown, who was the lady that played? Who was the sister-in-law? The aunt on Sanford and Son?
Esther. Wanda
Esther Roll?
No, Esther Roll was good times.
Listen to her concert.
Oh.
She is not the person that you see on the show.
No, we knew she
was. Well, none of them were.
Woo!
They had to be something different to get on TV.
Well, boy, the stuff they got
They didn't want to give her a shot. And they didn't want to give her a shot, but Red insisted upon it.
Boy, when you listen to her concert, it's like, whoa, that's some new cuss words I haven't heard.
Yeah, she knew how to drop them.
She dropped them a lot. But anyway, next video.
So y'all gave me a whole bunch of insults that would actually hurt a Southerner's feelings, and I'm going to have to share the best ones with y'all. Your mom measures her sugar for her tea. Your papa can't drive a stick shift. That one stings. Oh yeah? Well, I bet your grandpa can't smell the rain coming. Your mom makes pie with store-bought crust. Now, I'd be careful with that because I know several Southern mamas that would slap you in the face for that. Yeah. Y'all got to be careful. You can't joke around with stuff like that. Gulf Shores beaches aren't that nice. Now, actually, we do have really, really good okay. See, now that one actually is getting me riled up. Your grandma's gravy is from a packet. Okay. Some of y'all better sleep with one eye open. Or we ask y'all to bring plates and drinks for a reason. Now, this one is probably the most Southern insult of all because you can't tell right away that it is an insult. It stings you a little bit later. And yeah, I hate to break it to y'all that have been asked to bring drinks and plates to the potluck for years and years, and you haven't figured it out yet. You can't cook. Oh.
That's why they told me to bring paper plates and cups.
The only reason why I played that video, I now remember why I played that video. If they tell you to bring the drinks and the plates, you can't cook.
That's why they kept telling me to do that. Now I know.
Yep, that you can't cook.
Is that really a bad thing?
Or
There's an or to this?
Yes, I was an or.
Yeah. There's a touche.
I'm saying there's an or?
There is an or, depending upon the family dynamic. So, like, I come from, like, if we're talking about coming to my mama's house, she's got everything anyway. She don't want you to bring nothing unless she really likes something that you cook. So, like, my wife, she is responsible for bringing mac and cheese. This is what it is, right? Which in a lot of the black families, that's a big deal. When the family says, "Yeah, whoever gets mac and cheese
or potato salad,
Mm-hmm.
if you are the people who get to do that, not only are you one of the people who's allowed to cook in mama's kitchen,
it's a third.
It's a third one.
It's a third.
Or the pound cake,
banana pudding.
Oh no, banana pudding!
like
you
banana
can take
pudding.
that
That's
stuff
disgusting.
and flush
You
it
take
down
that, throw it out the
into
window.
nasty.
So chunky yellow mayonnaise. But anyway,
It pretty much that's what it is.
with some Nilla wafers on it. But no, but what I'm saying though, that's where my or comes in. Like when you have to be like, I don't know, anointed, so to speak. Like the matriarch of the family is basically the one who decides who gets to bring the substantive dishes. Right? The matriarch is the one who's going to say, yes, you can bring the roast chicken, or you can bring the mac and cheese. Like she says, that's like an honor in some families. So that's why I would say it could be an or. And then if you just ain't known for cooking nothing good, or you the knucklehead who keep want to show up with salad, yeah, you might get fork duty.
I don't see what's wrong with bringing the paper. It's essential. You can't eat without it.
Well, I tell you this: there is an or. There is an or. So this, but it wasn't the or that you said. There is an or to it, and I hate to tell this because I don't want nobody blowing up my comment section, but it's true. The first one is correct because you can't cook. We know you can't cook, and we're not going to eat your food. So bring the plates and the drinks. There also is an economical reason to it. Like we know that your family is the poorest family in the group, and the only thing that we know that you can afford is plates and dollar store plates and dollar store knives and forks and spoons and dollar store drinks and everything else. So we're going to give you the easier route because it's not like we're crazy enough to believe that you're going to buy an abundance amount of this stuff. So just to say that you contribute to the cookout party, whatever. Can you bring the plate?
That's the families that do events on a regular. I ain't in that family.
Nope, that's every year for me. That's the year. That's the event for me every year. That we know the family who we know doggone well. You're not going to go spend $30, $40, $50 on some food to make a specific thing because you can't afford it, but you could go and get plates and cups and napkins, and
that's not cheap neither. Because them $1.25 treat plates and cups, that's some garbage. You got to go to a supply store.
No, you better show up with them reinforced paper plates. Don't you show up?
Yeah, the ones that got some weight to them. You can put some food.
I got to put 3 plates together to be able to eat.
First of all, you show up with Tupperware so you can take some home. You don't just show up.
No, you make your own Tupperware now. You can make your own Tupperware. You get a sturdy enough plate and some saran wrap or some.
No, you don't want to take a chance with leaking.
Hey, Anna.
It's all about how you wrap it.
These are bougie people right here.
You get Tupperware because you don't want that leaking in your car. You want everything.
How you gonna call us bougie? You calling us bougie, but you talking about a caste system within the family.
Is a caste system in the family.
He broke.
Because
here's what you know he cheap. Let's give him the $1.25 plate.
When you grab that plate, if you stupid enough to grab one plate, knowing doggone well that one plate ain't gonna hold nothing. No, you grab about 3 or 4 of those plates to reinforce the first plate.
That's wasteful. You get the plates that are reinforced so you don't have to do that.
Or you go to the dollar
no,
store
you get
and you
them
buy
ones
them
that,
little plastic plate thingies that you just put the plate on top of.
yep.
Y'all bougie.
Or here's one. Here's mine. This is what a
plates underneath.
no, you don't put no 3 and 4 plates. That's dumb. You get the
That's a
Tupperware. So
waste.
get Tupperware. It won't leak in your car. Here's what you do if you smart. You get those to-go cartons. Them to-go carts like they got at the soul food places. You know they close and they cancel. You get those.
You gotta go get Tupperware.
Now y'all know Anna don't like to sit there and talk about a whole lot about food now.
Tupperware.
You do get Tupperware. It's way better. It's better. It will not leak in the car. Why you gonna get plates?
Go to Tupperware parties. Y'all bougie little people. Maybe
Tracy, he's messing with you because what he's doing right now is he's acting like you're literally talking about the brand Tupperware and not just a Tupperware container. You better go get that empty butter bowl and bring your behind
jars. Thank you. Them Cool Whip containers that don't got Cool Whip in it. Them cookie containers that don't have cookies in them.
You can afford Cool Whip?
They got generic Cool Whip. It's like 88 cents at Walmart.
Too much.
How much you want to pay for Cool Whip?
50 cents.
No, you ain't none 50 cents.
I'm
so that what happened when you eat mayonnaise.
I'm talking to y'all like I was growing up and I knew what
But you get Tupperware because the juices won't leak in your car because you know somebody gonna have collard greens. And
that's what the kids for. That's what the plastic bag for.
You don't put it in. No, you do not do. Don't listen. Y'all don't listen to Marlon. You get the nice, good, sturdy Tupperware.
You get you a plastic garbage bag. You tie that plastic bag completely around that plate and make sure that you put
and
it
it's
on
still
the floor.
Gonna leak.
Don't put it on. That's just juice. That ain't gonna hurt. That you tie it completely tight.
Except your upholstery.
No, that's why I say you put it on the floor. Don't put it in your chair. Don't put it on the seat.
You don't ever put your food on the floor.
Who puts food on the floor?
You put your food on the floor.
That's where dirty shoes go.
No, because the dirty shoes on the other side. It's on the other side of the car.
Ain't nobody ever rode in your car with their shoes on?
Yeah.
How many people are you riding in your car? Because you must be riding 2 people.
You might be the only one in the car right now. But somebody done had their little dirty shoes. You don't put your food on the floorboard.
On the floor? I can see the trunk, maybe, but the floor.
What took you so long? Because I knew you was gonna do some bamboo paper plates and sponsor.
I mean, they good, but Susan, can't nobody afford them things.
Ain't nobody
can't afford the bamboo.
No bamboo stuff, Susan. Nobody can afford no bamboo stuff. Anyway, last video, and it's my boy.
But she's right though. I just can't put that money on it.
Oh, he's right. She's right.
I'll be standing right there like, no, you're gonna finish that plate.
I fell asleep. Balling plastic bags woke me up. No balling, just hey. Okay.
They bad for the environment.
They good for my kid. They good for my
I hate that when I go to the store, they gave me 18 cents. I'm like, stop. That's why you got to bring your own bags.
I got my own bags.
They've been asking us to do that forever. But you know what people do? What people fail to do? They never clean their bags.
They sure don't.
How do you clean bags?
You put them in this thing.
You get the same way you would clean anything else. You get some 409 and a paper towel, and you get the wiping the inside of that bag out. Because the problem is, if you're talking food safety, you should never put chicken in the bag that the beef was at, and you don't want to put dry food in the bag that the chicken was at, and so forth and so on.
The bag that the chicken came in.
But if you walk in
throw it away.
Nah.
The bag that the chicken is, we throw.
We're talking about the reusable bags.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Oh. All right, last video of the night. This is my boy. I know it because it's so funny because of the ending, not the beginning. The beginning is educational and interesting, but the ending is phenomenal. So, last video of the night.
Well, did you know that the Democrats actually founded the KKK? So, who's actually more racist? Right, because whichever political ideology or party is more closely aligned with and supported by the KKK is probably more likely to be the more racist one, right? Yeah. Well, the Democratic Party didn't found the KKK. That's actually a pretty common misnomer. The KKK wasn't founded by a political party, but you are correct that in the early days, the KKK was more closely aligned with the Democratic Party. So you admit it then? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I win. Really quick question, though, and you can just answer this question in your head. You don't need to look it up or Google it. It's not a trick question. The answer should be pretty intuitive. In this year, 2023, which political ideology does the KKK more closely align with and support? Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Because that was all the way back. And this is, which would mean that it's actually, who are the, yeah. Yeah. I feel so stupid. Oh, yeah. I am so stupid. Oh, yeah. I should really just shut the fuck up. Yeah. Yeah. You know what's crazy? Is if this were real life, I would never say any of this. No. But since this is a skit where you're playing both parts, I'm saying all this stuff because it kind of feels nice to like have me acknowledge all this stuff out loud. And you know, it's also kind of nice to just think that like any conservative person who watched this video and got upset and ran to the comments to be like, oh wow, congratulations, you won an argument with yourself, is just sort of admitting that they don't actually have a legitimate response to anything you just said. And they probably know that you just made a really good point, but they would never admit that. Yeah, but it's okay because they know and we know. Yeah. God, you are so good at this. Hey, I do my best. I'm sexy. Thank you.
This is your boy, Marlon.
Yeah, this your boy, so
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna make a remark about the last thing that came out of his mouth. Whatever.
Hey, if you don't think you sexy, who else going to?
Who else going?
I applaud him for self-love.
Oh, I'm about to say self-enjoyment, but that's entirely
because sometimes I wake up and be like, I'm a sexy motherfucker. And then other days I'd be like, I'm old and fat.
I've done that before, and I always make Foxy mad because I come into the room and go, damn it, Foxy, it had happened again. And this is the 4th day that it has happened again. And she was like, the 4th day? What's wrong with you? I said, it's the 4th day. I don't know if I need to go speak to somebody or talk to somebody or go to the doctor or something. What? What's wrong with you? I said, every night I go to bed and every morning I wake up awesome and I don't know what I need to do about it. It's like there may be an issue that I need to go talk to somebody about it, but it's like, I don't know what I need to do. Every time I look in the mirror and go, maybe I'm going to see mediocre, then I look in the mirror and go, nope, still awesome. Damn it. Nope. Nothing I can do about it. Nope.
Because they don't get more awesomer than you. Nope.
I got to the point
where when I was a kid, I was, not like I'm not now, but I was definitely a very goofy looking kid. I had an extended calf stage, as we say. But I never really got down on myself. And this is not the way that I would like people to approach it nowadays because we're much more PC or whatever. But if this works for you, then fine, take it. But I literally would be like, I wasn't the cutest guy. I wasn't the tallest guy. I wasn't the coolest guy or whatever. But I could walk out the door. I could walk into any environment and I could be like, I look better than him. I look better than him. I look better than him. So I ain't ugly. And that helped me.
I tell you what, this is...
I'm sorry to all the people who are uglier than me, but you did a good service, so I appreciate you.
Yeah, you was all right. My deal is this. What I don't like, and yes, I'm sorry, petty, I feel a certain type of way. But I know I wasn't the cutest person in the world when I was a kid. I get it. I knew I wasn't the most popular person in the world when I was a kid. I get that. I lived through it. I got over it. I done moved on with my life. Here's what I don't like. What I don't like is somehow, some way, there's a correlation with who Foxy know on Facebook and who I know on Facebook. But if everybody knows, I don't really like deal with Facebook like that. Like I may drop a liner here and there, but it's like I'm not that. Oh, I got to see what Facebook is saying because I just don't give a damn what Facebook is saying. But she'll go and say, "Oh, do you know such and such?" And I go, yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah, because he said y'all used to hang out and y'all used to hang out and go to parties every day and go to parties. And I'm looking at her like, what the hell we did? I ain't go to parties with this dude. So matter of fact, I didn't even know what the damn party was. I knew what the party when I knew that was a great, fantastic party the Monday after the party. When everybody was talking about it at school about how great the party was. Y'all didn't invite me to a damn thing. But y'all want to be adults and talk about we used to hang out. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I don't know who the hell you is. What? And I literally had one dude that sat there and tried to make it as if we were best friends.
I can't relate, dog.
Me and Marlon used to go to parties all the time. No, I didn't. I didn't go to house parties. I didn't even go to clubs. That's a different story. That's one of those things that pisses Foxy off because I grew up too fast. But whatever.
Nah, I can't relate because I didn't grow up with people. I didn't grow up around people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was always a military kid. I was always a new kid. So I don't have like childhood friends. I have two.
I didn't have
two, maybe three.
That's my point.
But I'm just saying from the standpoint of like being in a network. I don't know. Are you back near where you kind of grew up, like in the same city or general?
I never left.
Okay, but you were in the military for a little while, so that's why I was saying.
But, yes.
But I don't know that type of world. So my social media doesn't overlap like that. There's nobody who can come to me and be like 8th grade or 10th grade or what. You can't because you ain't know me. You know, like.
But that's my point. Is they did know me. They did know me. My school structure is, and I don't know if this is everyone, but my school structure is if you stay in a certain area, this elementary school was your elementary school, which automatically attaches you to this junior high, which automatically middle school by that time, which automatically attached you to this high school. So the people that I went to elementary school, I knew all the way to high school. I knew you since I was a kid, since I was 6, 7, 8, whatever years old, all the way until 17, 18 years old in graduation. So I would know you in some type of capacity for what's that, 12, 13 years, whatever it is.
Bro, if you done grown up with the same people since you were a knee high, you know these people. That don't mean you weren't friends with them. I'm saying you knew each other because you know.
Exactly. I know you and I knew of you. So when I became an adult and everybody's acting like it wasn't I knew of Marlon, and some of them can't literally say I know Marlon. I'll give you that. I know Marlon. I get you that. Because it wasn't like I had a bet. I can sit here and talk a whole bunch of smack about high school and how bad it was. It really wasn't as bad as I make it out to be. It wasn't great and fantastic as they're making it out to be. Oh, we used to hang out and go clubbing and blah, 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 and go to parties and blah, blah. No, we didn't. Absolutely, positively not. No, we didn't. We absolutely did not. We was never that doggone close. And I kind of want to think to myself now, you know me Only because I've been in your life when we was kids for like 10 years straight. So yeah, you do know me. But as of hanging out and chilling out, and no.
Do you think like maybe they honestly think because you were around in their head that they have you in the back at a party somewhere that you must have been there?
No,
Agreed.
well, that's a possibility, and I agree with that. But I have to tell the truth of, I feel a certain type of way when you say, "Oh, we went to house parties together." When I knew growing up, I didn't know the house party existed until the Monday after the house party. That's how low on the totem pole that I was. That it wasn't. Oh, I wasn't invited to the house party. I was so low on the totem pole. Oh, I didn't even know the house party existed until the Monday after the house party. And things I even make it a little worse. One of my city's famous house party throwers was less than a half a block up the street from me. Like literally, I could hear his music at my house. It was that close. Like it was 5-6 houses away close.
I mean, I can only take your word for it because I literally have almost no memory of high school. I've not gone to a single high school reunion. I had 2 high schools.
I haven't either.
But my high school that I graduated from, it's like an hour from where I am right now. But I don't know anybody. I don't know any of those people. My best friend will always say a name, and I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. I know you. If you ask me to name people out of my high school, and we had a graduating class or something, I don't know, 300, 400, 400, something. I don't know. I know 3 names.
The people that I hung out with, the people that was in my small circle, I never went to school with them, not once. That was my small circle, but I never went to school with them. So that's why I said when high school people that went, oh, we used to deal and hang. No, we didn't, because I knew the people that I did hang with. I'm not saying they was great friends either, but still, I know it wasn't y'all. And yeah, thing is, I've never been to a high school. I've never been to a high school reunion because I kind of come to the point of why. I don't know what changed about you because I didn't know you when you was in high school. So
I don't get the point anyway. Because to me, granted, I'm a military kid, so my viewpoint is completely different than anyone who is not a military kid. Yeah. I do not attach to things. So my schools were just places I had to go. The houses I lived in were ceilings and walls. Neighborhoods meant nothing to me. You know, if I knew you more than 3 years, we were lifelong friends. Because I ain't know nobody more than 3 years.
Hey, we ain't got one more year, folks. We ain't got but one more year.
Yeah.
But so for me, like, I can't even relate. Like some people were here, like I think if I remember correctly, I had 13 schools, if you count college. And sometimes people hear that and they're like, man, that's too many. I can't imagine moving that much and all of that. And I get it. If you've never moved more than once or twice, or when you moved, it was just from like this side of town to that side of town. I get that you can't understand my way of attaching and viewing things because your way is foreign to me too. Like the idea of growing up with the same people from age 6 to age 18, that scares the hell out of me. I would never want that for my life. I would never. That means if I hate you, 3rd grade, you stole my lunch. That means at 9 years old, you stole my lunch. 9 years later, I still got to deal with you. I got to find a way to learn how to function around you. If I became the butt of the joke, you know, because there's social structures. So you got certain kids who end up becoming the butt of the joke or whatever taints you as a child. And now you got to fight through that? What?
Oh,
nah.
I must have
So
had.
I just can't.
I must have had an unusual life. I
I
went to my 25th high school reunion. I'm on the planning committee for the 30th.
Wow.
What? This is so like my mind is. I'm like, of course I want to go. Of course I want to go because
I could care less. And
I
it's like people
care.
who go to high school reunions, usually either you had a number of friends because you've always kind of like stayed in the same spot your whole life, so your relationships didn't break down, or you just want to see how everybody else's life is turning out. I don't freaking care.
But
I don't care if you went on to own your own hot dog stand. I don't care.
I gotta agree. I gotta agree. I don't care.
I
don't
do.
care. I don't care about your life. I don't care.
It ain't my business.
I care.
It has
Dang
nothing
on
to do
it.
with your
It's
business.
okay, Jason.
I honestly don't care. I
Yeah, I'm
don't
thinking
know.
I'm not gonna miss my 30th high school. There's no way I would miss it.
I don't.
Right, but that's what
did
I'm saying,
not know
Tracy.
about you enough
It's
when I
different.
was in high school to care what's going on in your life now. So I would not contribute.
So you don't
anything.
meet up with anybody you went to school with?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
See, this makes me different. I do.
I got one friend from high school that I still know. He actually lives like maybe less than 10 minutes from me where I live now. But we never hang out. Like once every 2 or 3 years, we'll go grab something to eat. Right. And I got my best friend from high school who I don't even know where he lives. I don't even know where he lives. I know he's somewhere around here. I don't know where he lives.
High school must have been great for me. I'm like,
I can get to his mama house. I can do that, you know. But
I still go
outside
to
of
dinner.
that, all my friends, I don't care. I don't care. I didn't care about you in high school. I don't care about you now. If you like, and I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying like our worlds have shaped how we view things, right?
Tracy, I'm going to say something that's going to blow your mind even further. It's going to blow your mind even further. I'm literally 10 minutes away from my high school.
I'm 15 minutes away.
If I think about it, let me think real quick.
Yeah.
So once I get out of my neighborhood, so I'm not even going to count that. So 1, 2, yeah. I take 3 turns, I can get to my high school.
Parker just made
I
us
would
all
not
feel
know
old.
how to function.
I know
I'm
exactly
telling
how to
y'all,
function.
I would not be able to
Easy.
function. And but Tracy, we
Parker,
come from two different things. You've been in one
right.
place, essentially. I think you said you never moved out of like your general area. So that's your world. So it makes sense to you because it is your world.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that would be how I would feel being told. This is one of the things like with my wife who grew up in one place her whole life, and then you got me who moved my whole life, while we kind of like can't quite find our parity level. She would love to have a forever home where you raise the kids, and then when the kids are grown, they come back and visit, and they bring the grandkids and all that, and it's all still the same house. And that stuff scares the boo-boo out of me. Like, I don't want to be anywhere that long. No.
It's only my job. I would change up every few years.
I have to make an announcement real quick. Parker is about to be banned from this.
Yeah, he really is going to be banned.
Parker is about to be banned. I will not be putting up with this insults from Parker.
I was in high school 6 years ago.
That's fair.
So
he's making us for some of us. We either 50 or we real like we right up near it.
Hey guys, 1990 was almost 50 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Shut up.
1990.
The third album came out 45 years ago. I'm like, what the bleep happened?
That was 32 years ago. It's not quite 50 yet.
1983, I was 9.
Oh, you're right, like 1980. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Through album came out in 83. That's 40 years. I said 52.
Y'all remember the 80s?
We are further into the future than Marty McFly traveled.
You sure are.
Yes, we are.
We thought we was going to be living in them cars that could fly.
I wanted the thing where the fruit would come down from the ceiling so bad. And yes, I actually did see this movie.
Do y'all remember the 80s more or the 90s?
80s. Because the
90s.
90s, now you were young enough to remember I mean, I remember the 90s. I lived through them. But the 80s, that was my formative years.
And for me, it was the 90s because I was born in 78. So
yeah, so he used to be closer to the 90s.
So the 80s was cartoons and silly being a kid, but the 1990s was my teenage years.
The 80s was the greatest decade of all time.
Oh, we already did that.
No, I'm gonna have to go with no on that.
Music.
Here's the deal. I grew up in the 80s. I think I broke it down. I grew up in the 80s.
Yep.
I experienced the 90s. So I got through the 80s with a lot of stuff that I remember, but my experience was the 90s. Like that was my decade that I experienced a lot more in life because I was
basically
the 90s I was more mature.
Parker just made it worse.
What decade basically is like which decade holds more of your years from age 12 to age 20? And whichever decade holds more of your years, that's the one you remember the most. Because that's when you were becoming yourself.
It's crazy when I hear people talk about the 90s and Michael Jordan. I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I would have been man, F you, Parker. I would have experienced more of that. So
some of us is real close to the half a century.
I'm sorry.
When you don't know when you close to that 5-0 mark, it hit different. It's
that hurts.
It hurts.
When people talk about Michael Jordan, I kind of wish I was there to experience. But then again, when we sit there and go, when people talk about Magic Johnson and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I was kind of experiencing them on like the last hurrah.
As my pastor said, there's only one cure for old age.
Yep, and we don't want none of those parts of that.
Turn around, young people. I'm sorry, Parker. That was wrong.
I'm messing with him, Parker.
He know we messing with him, but dang, when you because Marlon's already 50, but when you around the corner from your 50th, it hits you different. It's like, where did the years go? It's like I can remember when I was in high school and had mostly black hair. Yeah, everybody. I used to have black hair. It used to be black. I blinked my hair and boom, is this? Like, what happened? Like all them years they just flew by.
I don't think I have any.
Yeah, after you get out of high school, time speeds up.
Yeah, remember when the weekend used to be so long? You'd be like, okay, when is it gonna be Monday?
I have a theory on that. Here's why time moves faster as you get older. It's all about the increments in which you measure time.
True.
When you're a child, you measure time by the school year.
True.
So it takes a long time to get to your next benchmark. But once you're an adult, you're measuring it by your paycheck. And that happens every 2 to 4 weeks. Time speeds up super fast.
Sure
and then if you're raising children, they're constantly changing. And next thing you know, you blink and 15 years and went by.
I'm like, I'm gonna be how old? I still can't believe I'm 49. I'm like, but I was just literally 18. I used to be 18. I used to be Parker's age.
You have age timelines too. When you're younger, you couldn't wait to get to 10. Has nothing to do with anything. It was the fact that, hey, I'm double digits now. Then you couldn't wait to get to 13 because teenager. You couldn't wait to get to 16. Now for me, getting to 16, 15 for me, because 15 meant, hey, I could get my driver's permit. 16 meant, hey, I could get my
no car, but
no car. 15 meant I can get my learner's permit. 16 meant I can get my driver's license.
No car.
18, well, I had my mama's car, so yeah, I had a car. 18.
I got a car when I was 18. 17. I was 17. And that's only because my parents got tired of coming to picking me up at 12 o'clock at night from Arby's.
Well, 16, I had to get the car because that's when I actually started going clubbing at 16.
Man, no way in hell. 16 clubbing. What the hell?
Yep.
I don't know that life.
Yep. That's why I said I grew. That's why I said I
now
grew.
that's amazing.
Anna, that's why I said I grew up fast and I didn't want to talk about it. But
were there bouncers?
here's the deal.
He was a bouncer.
No, I
was
was
the country, so they had like 10 clubs and stuff. I don't know.
And look, at 5'7" and 140 pounds, trust me, I was so far from being a bouncer. It wasn't funny. Nobody was gonna be scared of me. Could you please leave? Nobody was gonna be scared of me. So, but the deal was, my stepfather at that time had a sister. So my aunt-in-law, whose boyfriend was I guess you could call him a bouncer. He was a pretty big dude, but he was always at the door of a club.
And you went there, he told him.
I went there, he let me in.
Oh. And then he called your mama.
Nope.
What? He didn't tell her?
I can't imagine getting out that when I was 16, I couldn't get out the house to go clubbing.
At 16, I could go to the club, but then again, at 16, I was also the one who was walking to work.
I did not even learn. Wait a minute, Anna, do you have a driver's license?
I do now, yes.
Okay.
I cannot drive. Though.
Okay, but how old were you when you learned how to drive?
When I learned?
Yes, when you learned. Or when you got your license.
8. Oh, when I was 17.
Okay, because wait a minute. I'm going to have y'all guess. How old do y'all think I was when I first got my license?
18.
22.
These, you got real close. I was 21.
Nope.
I never wanted to drive. I just took the bus everywhere I went. Then one day the bus didn't show up, and I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to go to driver's school.
When we were growing up, there was always a perfect time frame.
My mother didn't have a license until she was 28.
My sister just got hers at 46.
My grandma never had a license. Ever.
My sister got us all beat. She got
You said your grandma.
My grandma never had a license.
My grandmother never had a license.
A lot of our grandmas might not have had a license. Now, my grandma drove in the
I'm
Montgomery
so sorry
boycott.
that I'm actually shocked that my
some grandmothers didn't have licenses, but they still drove cars. Now, that's the kind of family I grew up.
This is very true.
Whoa, Tracy?
That's very true.
That was the other thing. And she never drove.
No, I'm saying they did drive and they didn't have licenses.
I get it. My grandma never had a license and she never drove.
My grandmother didn't drive either.
Not once.
I mean, my mother's mother. Now, my father's mother, apparently she had a, maybe she passed it down to me, that lead foot. But I never wanted to drive. If that bus hadn't been late, I'd have been like my sister, getting my driver's license at 46. No. I can't even imagine not knowing how to drive.
Now, I will say I did look at my life, and I was pretty upset when it happened. When I got my driver's license, and I said, Ma, I got my driver's license. Let me go ahead and borrow the car. And she looked at me and went, I ain't gonna let you get in my car and drive by yourself. And I was so mad. Like, I got my driver's license. I know how to drive. And then, now I'm an older man. I'm thinking, the hell was I thinking? Because you got a license, man, you can't drive my car? You got a license to drive, don't mean you could drive.
Some people show, they can't drive. Where did you learn?
Well, first of all, no one's teaching these people how to drive. That's number one.
Oh, by the way, Parker, yeah, that's the older people. That's the younger people, too.
Yeah, I know plenty of people. I'm like,
well, younger people now, they have options. So that's why they don't care about driving.
Yeah, they can go Uber. They can take... Mm-hmm. And some cities actually have public transportation that isn't crap.
Well, we ain't one of them.
I don't live in one of those cities.
Well, you in the South, so in the South
No, I'm in the Midwest.
Oh no, we're surrounded by transportation. That don't mean it sucks. That just sucks. It sucks.
No, I'm saying like I'm in the South, and we have MARTA and stuff like that. But I mean, it sucks.
The only thing you got above us is subways. We don't have subways. We have trains, which, okay, if you want to call it a trolley or whatever you want to call it these days, because they changed the dynamic like every 2 years. It's a trolley. No, it's a train. No, I don't care one way or the other. Nobody's driving. So, yeah, whatever.
But no, as far as like the driving thing, and then here's the part that annoys me. If you got if you feel that your child being 16 or 17 years old means that they should have a driver's license, then you need to put them on your insurance.
Yeah, that's not happening.
You sure do, because if they drive and get in an accident, I'm suing your whole family.
I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about my kids. Nope.
Most parents, or okay, I don't know if it's quantity. Well, no, actually, I think I can say this because I had to deal with it in my industry. They don't put their kids on the insurance, which is incredibly dangerous because that kid is more likely to have an accident than you are. Okay?
They want that policy to go up.
Because they don't have that experience, they're going to cause more damage than you would. But you're so worried about that extra $200 a month of premium, because it is going to jump your insurance premium by about $200 for one kid, right? Like people used to ask me, say, hey, if I add my son or my daughter, how much is my insurance going to go up? I said 75 to 80%. You can almost count on your premium doubling. That's what your insurance is going to do. And they're like, oh, right? And then they want to backpedal. But then you don't put your kid on the insurance, kid gets in an accident, and then I talk to you and I'm like, there's no coverage.
Or
guess what I'm doing? We going to court. Dun dun dun.
Here's your car. Here's your car. You need to go get your own insurance.
Oh, now they can't.
I don't know how they're going to afford that.
They're not going to be because.
I'm sorry. Why they can't afford it?
Because
if your kid can afford it, great.
Wait a minute, you don't have to be 18.
You have to be 18 to get the policy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have to be 18 to get the policy in the first place.
I get it.
Because you have to be able to sign a contract.
Now you can go get your own insurance.
But how can you do this at 16?
So he's talking about riding dirty until the 18.
Yeah,
yep. Thank you very much. Yep.
And then the kid gets, see, that's the thing. And that's why I need people to have more conversations with people who that's their industry. That's what they do. I mean, if your child has an accident, because the thing about an accident is you don't get to choose how bad it's going to be.
Nope.
It's not up to you. It's too late at that point. So here's what happens, especially if you run into someone like me who knows the business. Your kid rear ends me.
Hold on one second, Theus. Parker, I do have something to say about the 16, 17-year-old can't afford insurance. But
don't drop it.
Go ahead, Theus. No, it ain't that bad.
No, but your kid gets into an accident, right? He rear ends somebody. Let's just say he rear ends me, right? And he ain't got no insurance. He's not on your insurance. Now, your insurance company might be nice. If you're with one of the good companies, the big company, they might be nice. They might go ahead and pay that claim and then jack up your rates or drop your policy. Okay, that's if they're being nice. But I'm going to make sure your insurance company paid because you decided that your pockets was more important than anything your child might do to somebody out here in these streets. You were more concerned about your pockets than you were about my life, my health, and my family's health. So I don't care about your pockets now. I'm going to run you for everything that I can get up out of you because you did this. And see, that's the thing that people don't have these conversations. Like no one actually has these real conversations where, like, let's say you don't go up against someone like me who's gonna really hit you because I'm gonna be mad about the risk you put us all at, and you just hit a regular person. But that person gets hurt pretty bad. Your insurance policy will only pay to the limits that you set. Well, unfortunately, if you've seen my videos, most people don't set their limits high enough.
Nope.
As soon as that policy has paid the most that you set aside for it to pay, they coming for your house, your cars, your retirement, anything you got. They're going to run through all of that.
Yep, you better hide your kids, hide your wife.
That's why I want people to be more aware of the things that insurance is not your enemy. even though they kind of corrupt, but they're not your enemy. You know, if you learn what you
Kind
paying
of
for.
corrupt, but they not.
Oh, they're corrupt. I'm asking this question. Yeah, 16, 17-year-old can't afford insurance. Maybe make them pay half of it or something. Yeah, you will.
Yeah, if you want to drive.
Because if you want to drive, and I'm going by experience. My oldest daughter started working at the youngest age that she
I
possibly.
gotta go, guys.
And have a good night.
Have a good
Good night,
evening.
Anna.
My
Oh
oldest.
wow, it's
Yeah, I
Sunday.
gotta get out of here. My oldest daughter
Yeah, Sunday.
started working at the youngest age that she could get to, and I never knew why until years later when my wife said my oldest daughter came to her at 15, 16, whatever, and Mama, I need to get my nails done. I got to get my nails done every 2 weeks. And my wife looked at him, go, "You need a job."
Sure
And my
do.
daughter got a job, and she paid for her own stuff. So yeah, Parker, when I say that they can afford it, yeah, they literally can afford to pay the insurance. Cause I'm not gonna sit there and go, and unfortunately you do have some parents who are buttholes about it, and I'm not that. Pay for the insurance because your stuff affects me. You don't have to pay rent. Your rent does not affect me. You don't have to pay the light bill. Your light bill don't affect me. I've been doing this way before you, but when you start doing stuff that does affect my bottom line, as you could say, when it comes to my paycheck, yeah, you're gonna have to pay for that. And you're
You
gonna
saying
have
that's
to do
wrong?
this job to get, huh?
Are you saying that's wrong?
No, I say that's absolutely correct. Yes.
Oh,
No,
Okay,
that's
we was
not wrong.
wondering.
No, that's not wrong at all. I'm gonna pay my light bill. I'm gonna pay the gas. I'm gonna pay the mortgage. I'm gonna pay these things because it is. But with my insurance, and that's what we're talking about right now, if my insurance go up because I added you, yeah, I'm gonna need you to add something to this, bro. So
I feel you. I do. Um, but that's not the calculation that a lot of parents make. And now my parents, relatively speaking, I would say now that costs are different than when they were when we were young, right? But they were able to do more for me than I was able to do for mine when she got to be grown, right? So I never paid for car insurance. I didn't pay for the car was paid for, but I didn't pay for my insurance at no point up until I got that speeding ticket, and then I had to start paying for insurance. But
wow.
I didn't I didn't pay for insurance. And if I could do that, and if I can do that for my next one, I will. To the extent that I'm able, I'm the one who brought them here, and so that's part to me. That's just part of raising them. Now, if they are disobedient children, right? If I'm struggling with raising my child,
Okay.
you don't get some of the perks, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to work to do this, but at the same time, it's like this juggle, right? It's this balancing beam type thing, because it's like I need you to understand the responsibilities of what goes into things, and you say you want this thing, you really need this thing. Well, then you need to go to work
And get
to pay
it?
for your luxury, right? But at the same time, I don't want anything to take away from your studies. So if you're 16, 17, 18 years old, primary job is school. You can't have an outside job if your grades ain't right. But then if that's the case, guess some of the other things you just lost, right? So it's just it's an interesting thing.
Boy, I wanted to work as a teenager so bad.
I had no
Remind y'all
choice.
when we got more time for me to tell y'all when I had to sneak to get a summer job.
I had no choice. I mean, I grew up poor, so I literally didn't have a
We
choice.
grew up poor too, but I still had to.
I looked. I was excited to turn 15 because you can work when you turn 15. Now, granted, that boy, they made you ride the bus all the way to employment security or whatever to go get a slip. So you could go get it signed by the job and then take it to your mom so she could sign it. So you could turn it back over to the Employment Security Commission. But yeah, I was excited about getting a job because I knew that money was mine. My mom, bless her heart, never said contribute to the family. This is your money. But, however, at the same time, once you grow up, it was like, yeah, I want you to go get a job because it's less stress on me. I don't have to worry about you getting new shoes. You can go buy your own freaking shoes. Clothes, you can go buy your own freaking clothes. Haircut, go buy your own freaking haircut. I don't have to pay for that. But no, we don't have families like that sometimes. You need to contribute to the lights. You need to contribute to the rent.
Well, and if that's the family dynamic, I'm actually here to say that that's okay. Because if your family is in a financial situation where they need for you to help contribute, then that's your family.
If they need,
you know what I'm saying? Like back not too far in the day, you know, the elder sibling was your daycare, or the kids were raised to help work at the family business or in the family trade. So why is it that we gave all of that up as we got more creature comforts, right? Like, I don't remember who I was talking to. It might have been you guys, but I was like, you know, we used to have to raise our kids to go out, and by the time they were 6, 7, 8 years old, they're slopping hogs and feeding chickens. Well, they don't have to do that anymore, right? Our society is shifting in such a way. Huh?
That was here.
Yeah, that was here.
Okay. So we don't have to do that anymore. So we need to take that energy and put it into something else. But if your family needs you to do something like that, it's not fair, but it's family.
And I'm still saying, ask me how I had to sneak to get a summer job. Not on this podcast, because it's like, it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it.
Sorry, y'all. I should have just watched.
No. Did we achieve the goal that you needed? Or you did?
Oh, I'm good.
See, that's what we did. So we did good. Tracy, tell everybody where we can find you.
Tracy Media LLC. Go to .com. Go to my site where I drop not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 new videos.
Yes.
Hey, y'all go to their websites. Don't look at mine right now. Just go to their go.
But if they wanted to,
complexsimpleman.com. Yeah, that's right.
Well, you ain't done a video so long you forgot what your old website is.
Also, I don't have access to my computer. Everything I did was in my computer. Now I have just this phone. I don't know how to do anything with this.
You couldn't have took the computer with you, or is it destroyed?
No, the computer is somewhere in the house, or they might have packed it up and took it to storage for all I know. I don't know.
Why do you take the computer with you?
Because it's an old computer. I only use it for this type of work. So what I have with me right now is I have like all of my computer screens and everything like that so I can work. But I don't use that computer for work.
Did you put it in the claim?
No, because the claim didn't involve the computer.
I would have put it in there. And don't everybody, please do not shake your head on the hill you want to. I would have put that stuff in the claim. Thanks for the show. I'll be back to watch the parts that I missed. Please, Parker, watch the first 30 minutes of the show. It is very informative. And also, please do not forget to go to BorelliAetc.com and a Heart's website. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. There will not be a show tomorrow because Lord knows this house is going to be jam-packed tomorrow, and I had no say-so in it whatsoever. So
enjoy time with family, man.
I will. Yeah. So for Tracy Carson, Theus Robinson, and Anna Hart, this has been Saturday Night Vibe. We will see you when we see you. Peace.
Ted Cruz.
I'm about to say nobody's gonna bring up Ted Cruz.
Well, he didn't. Santos then took his